The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions.
Shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Greetings to all of my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you are a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. Family, I'm just going to say this. I don't know how many more mornings I'll be greeting you all. I don't know how many more mornings we'll even have together on these YouTube platforms. I don't know how many more mornings we'll have together just being able to conversate. Right now, the reality is the people are finally realizing that they have a port strike. They're like 48 hours too late. And, you had this special Jack Smith October surprise for the Trump campaign, and everybody's looking at that. That's really, to me, that's the final distraction. Because shout out to not just Canadian Prepper, but shout out to our Gentile off-grid desert farming with Doug and Stacy. I got up this morning. It was about 4:25 in the morning. I got up. When I hit the bed last night, I hit the bed at about 10:15. Trying to get some things taken care of, working on the neo diplomacy with the help of the awesome help of our lovely sister Shar, who will help you with relationships and understanding, especially for family dynamics, especially in this day and time. Because here's the funny thing, family. Understand what we're seeing unfold right now. Understand what's going on. I heard something this morning. They said, potentially speaking, that the West Coast may be involved in the strike to have, a sympathy strike. No, no, no. That to me that's a leak. And the leak is probably by the federal government because they got to shut this thing down because there's a lot of things that's been happening. National security, but you don't want to say national security, so you have to come up with the cover story. Just like the cover story of, well, Iran didn't do much to Israel, as we're seeing Israel getting their behinds rocked. I'm telling you, family, I'm sorry. I don't know how much time we have left. I don't. You can visit Quest to Unite Africa. I'm going to give you the link here. Right on top of the page, there is an emergency preparedness link. I have that here in the chat. At the minimum, I would encourage each and every one of you to visit, have your family visit, and try to get these items prepared. Oh yeah, Gibraltar. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And here's the sad reality. That's coming sooner than later because oh man, we got some articles to talk about. We got some things to talk about. And literally less than 72 hours, the world has kind of nosedive. They were on the cliff and they got pushed off the cliff, and this thing is just in free fall. And so, as I was stating this morning, I got on up. I was trying to give Brother Mike a call. Usually, I talk to him every morning, and I know. Pray for Brother Mike. He's out of electricity. They're working on some things where he's at in Tanzania. But it's one of those things that I had to kind of reflect that he is out of electricity. And now a lot of you understand they're not going to tell you all the bad news about these port strikes. They're not going to tell you, you know, what things look like and how things are structured, right? We don't want to cause panic. We got to make sure everybody is docile. Keep the Netflix, keep the Amazon Prime, keep Hulu, keep all the distractions flowing. Whatever you can do, whatever you can. I won't be surprised when they have, you know, internet that will be free. When they have these streaming services that will be free. I will not be surprised at all. Because why? Docility is what they will impose. Because I want folks to understand that by the end of this month, if, and I'm going to say if, the port strikes continue, and I would argue that the port strikes are the quote unquote necessary evil when you are dealing with a national security crisis because things are unfolding in the Middle East as we speak. As we speak. So this morning I'm waking up and I'm listening to our Canadian Israelite prepper. He said he had a strange inclination. I just can't explain that. I was just thinking, nah, man, that's the Ruach. See, here's the thing about this time. The Ruach is literally talking to our people. Whether or not they want to recognize who he is and recognize who they are, no, they're getting that. It gets a spiritual down, they're getting the spiritual download and they don't even realize it. Because why? Because if you have not been focused on that, if you don't have a relationship with the Most High, you're just going to look at it as, oh, it's just, I have a bad feeling. I have this, I have that. No, look, doesn't the word say that in those days and at that time that he was going to do what? Pour out his spirit? Okay, I don't know who this person is. And now understand that as they are in the midst of seeing these things, look, that's what I've been saying this about our people. I don't care if you're in Kemet. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're an atheist. I don't care. It doesn't matter because here's the thing. You are DNA sealed. You are blood sealed. So you can go about going into every type of Western wickedness that you want to, but you're always going to be different from them. Sorry, you are. Sorry, you're going to have to accept that our ancestors stood there at Mount Zion, or excuse me, Sinai, while Moses went up that mountain. Our ancestors made a covenant with the Most High, and our ancestors broke that covenant. And it's not because of us, but it's because of his namesake, that we're going back to our land. We're going back to the land of our forefathers, not because we're righteous, not because we have it all together. And trust me, we don't. It's because we serve an Elohim that does not lie. Yes, we had to be forsaken for a little while during our punishment, during our trials. But guess what? Now we're coming back, and now the whole world is getting ready to understand what's happening. Family, I'm telling you, when breaking down Obadiah yesterday, if you didn't understand that prophetic roadmap, that this is what the Most High is saying, this is what he's declared. Here's the thing. I look at YouTube and I kind of laugh, right? I laugh when I see, oh, Jesus is coming back, the rapture is soon, and all this other stuff. And I will say, this is literally the blind leading the blind, because you understand that is going to be such a punch in the gut for folks that believe that lie. And I'm sorry, I truly do feel sorry for our brothers and sisters stuck in that lie. But it's something that has been conditioned in us. But here's the real truth. If they've chosen, they chose to believe the lie. They chose it. They had plenty of ample opportunity. We're not talking days. We're not talking weeks nor months. They had the opportunity for years to prepare for this. How many of our channels have been here? I've been saying this now for over 4.5 years. Jacob has been on this for almost 8 years. 9, matter of fact. And so many of our channels. And yes, we get repressed. Shocking, isn't it? Yes, YouTube tries to shut our channels down. The algorithms tried to shut our channel down. I'm telling you, if you just got to this channel, understand, I literally just started remonetizing my channel last month because I had shut the monetization down for well over a year. Because these attacks were going on, they were occurring. And let me tell you, when they hit the Cash App, it wasn't just the Cash App. There was a lot more attached to that, especially with our channels. When I talk about Quest to Unite Africa, you don't even understand how we get blacklisted by banks just from Zells. Yeah, it's true. Just from receiving international payments. Yes, that's true. See, I wonder why that is. Because I'm sorry. If y'all want to know the truth, they're here to make sure that they can have a mass deletion rate. And the mass deletion rate, even though it's supposed to be focused on us, it's actually going to be worse on them. And as I had explained earlier, now we're seeing all of these nations rallying to, peace plans, peace conferences being held in Qatar, UN Security Councils being held yesterday, all of these different things. And guess what? It is going to result in the world war spreading. Plain and simple. This is the global south versus the West. This is Swift versus BRICS, or NATO versus BRICS. However you want to cut it. This is the clash of the empires. This is not Gog and Magog. This is Gog versus Magog. And this is these moments that we will be going through and enduring before what? Before we come back into our land. Yes, family, we are going through not just the spiritual, not just the emotional, the financial, but we're about to go through a literal physical fire. I know that that's unnerving to most folks. I get it. I know that a lot of people have recently come onto this channel. I get it. And I know that there's a lot of trolls on out there. I get it. But the trolls have to be the trolls because honestly, I just think they're bots anyway. I mean, I put the StreamYard on up there. I think that that's the limit of AI to to just be a chat bot. So this morning, as I was up, I don't usually get up at about 4:30. I do get up at about 5:30 time frame. That's my time frame, and I'm pretty good about my sleep schedule. Even when I go through some things, even when I go through some things, the Most High allows me to sleep. But I woke up and I said, "Let me see what's going on here." And as I was just kind of, rustling and tussling around, thinking I can get back to sleep, I was wide awake. I said, "Thank you, Father." I said, "I give you praise." I said, "But let me see what's going on here, because I know them folks. They were itching to hit something or someone."
Shalom, brother Karis. I know exactly what you're talking about because I was up around the same time, right? And I was doom scrolling, and then I just saw Paul live. I'm like, why? What is Paul doing up so late right now? And then I saw the title. I'm like, oh, that's why he's up so late. And then he was like, okay, I got to substantiate this. I got to substantiate this because he said because he got literally one of the first articles, like Hal Turner was the one
Yeah.
who reported it, and he was like, I gotta find other.
Oh, you just cut out again. You cut out, Brother Gar.
You know what happens? My phone locks up when I'm talking, and then it just locks. So that's what's cutting me off. But yeah, he was like on the live, like, folks, I gotta substantiate this, folks. I gotta find other articles, but and then I looked this morning, and there's all these other articles, substantiating what he said.
And I'm sharing my screen. This is what Brother Garth and I are talking about. All right. So before I play this is a 34-second clip. Before I play this is what happened. So you had this is the buildup. You had Jack Smith, releasing um, some more indictments against Trump. You had Diddy and all that other nonsense, right? But here's what has also been happening. You have the port strike going on, and folks are figuring it on out, and they're panic buying. A lot of these things are major distractions, major distractions. And so now here is what we have right now. I'm gonna play this. This okay. So let me give you the background of what you're seeing. You are seeing a allegedly US and them folks, that Eastern Mediterranean nation folks, striking the Russian air base in Syria, Hamamea, I believe, right by Latakia. Paul said it wrong. It's not Lataka, it's Latakia. Reason I know is because I've been intimately familiar with that as part of my work when I was on active duty as an analyst. Reason I know is because back in September of 2015, that's where they landed. That's where they had their main hold, because they can go from their air base, it's like Vostok or something like that. It's basically just north of the Caucasus Mountains. And it's literally like a 6 or 7 hour flight that they can make it on over. They'll fly through Turkey because Turkey will give them airspace, and then bam, they're right there. And the reason that you have that is because this is where you will have a backfill of logistics. What would that logistics look like? Well, it look like more S-500s, which are surface to air missiles and anti-air missile. You'll have more military support, more boots on the ground of Russian troops. This is why they wanted to increase to, and I said, last week when they said, 1 point something million, I said it's going to be around 4 million. It is. It's going to be around 4 million because now you're starting to understand and see. They're bracing for this. They're bracing to take the Middle East, and then when they take the Middle East, then they're going to release their Asian and Central Asian components into Europe. Mongol invasion 2.0. And this is where we see this. Understand, this is the last gasp of this empire. And here's the crazy thing. People think that it may take, months or even years. Honestly, things could collapse within a week. The only thing that they won't collapse is the US dollar because they still have to have it provide some sort of an intrinsic value. Right? You don't want to collapse everything, especially in a nation that you've conquered, because you still want to get value from that nation. Hey, we conquered it, and then guess what? As that nation perpetually declines, other nations will perpetually rise. It is a sacking. But now this is a modern day digital sacking that we've never experienced before. But I'm trying to give you some understanding of how that goes, because let me tell you, this is going to be a very weird exodus. Second exodus. Shout out to Truth Unedited. This is going to be a very weird looking, getting on the ark scenario. Because you want to know why? Because folks have to flee. There is a requirement. And so all those folks that have overly, religiously, religiously had done all the things. Oh, we're going to be caught up in chariots. Okay, good luck with that.
That delusion left me 2020 after I found out I was an Israelite. So
and I mean, but that's a lot of the camp mentality, and a lot of our folks. It's a heavily Eurocentric mentality. No, you're going to go because why? Because the Most High literally says you're going to flee. You're going to flee. You're going to go for it. You're going to see the opportunity to get out of Babylon, and you're going to go. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And that doctrine has you lazy too. I'm sorry to cut you off, Brother Karras.
It does. Go ahead, Brother Garth.
It literally has you lazy. It literally keeps you in a perpetual state of comfort. You really don't have to do much, the Most High is going to come and do everything for me. I don't really have to, practice out the faith. I don't have to show works with my faith. I don't have to warn people that much, or I don't have to, I don't have to go spread the word, or I don't have to fortify my household or fortify my, my spiritual what spiritual disposition. It's really a really dangerous doctrine.
It is. It is, but that was the main point of the doctrine, right? It got hijacked because why? Because all it was trying to do was to have a replacement theology that at this day and at this time, people wouldn't know what to do in this time of confusion. This is Babylon. Even though it's a Romanized Babylon, it's still Babylon. And now these structures of Babylon, now it's going to be in confusion and derision. And now here we go, that this morning, earlier this morning, late last night, it is reported that a Russian air base in Syria, and Garth, if you want to post that in the private chat so I can grab that article.
Okay.
This Russian base here in Syria had been hit by multiple missiles. It was reported by naval and airstrikes. So understand, if you didn't know this, the U.S. is working in tandem with them folks. And the gimmick will only last so long. That wasn't us. We weren't involved in that. That wasn't us. The gimmick only lasts for so long. Now the rest of the nations know they're lying. They're helping them. Because even Saudi Arabia, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Saudi Arabia, had a comment. I will get to that, but I want to share. Look, this world war is spreading because now you're seeing it's not just Lebanon, it's not just Palestine, it's not just Lebanon, it's now Syria. And then what will happen next is Iraq. And then what will happen next is Saudi Arabia. Matter of fact, Iraq has already been involved in this. But now you're going to have to now Iran is going to get targeted. And I would say, because this is Thursday, understand when you heard, Jake Sullivan, the national security person, counsel, they're working with, them folks on a response. They're going to respond on Friday night, Saturday morning. Why? Because they're not going to respond in a time that these markets are messed up. That's all they're doing. Please don't hit. Please don't hit. Please don't hit. Because if you do hit, then our markets are going to be in shambles. Do it over the weekend. And then we'll run a cover story of some other salacious argument. We'll run something else with Diddy. We'll run something else with Trump. We'll run something else about FEMA not doing stuff to take the heat off. If you didn't know anything about information operations, that's how that happens. Because why? Because the people are sheeple.
Man, I tell you, I've never seen so many celebrity deaths within a span of 3 days. It's crazy. The guy from Pawn Star died got deleted as well. And Pete Rose, Dikembe Mutombo, John Amos, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing some people, but people have been dropping like flies.
There's been quite a few. There's been quite a few. But let me get to this video. Let me show you this.
الله أكبر شهداء حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
Looks like that hit like some sort of a weapon. So, because you see a lot of the armaments flying from the secondary explosion, secondary detonations. I'm gonna share some more images because
Bro, Karis, what was that saying you told me again?
what was that?
The if I see one of them folk and they start, start saying those crazy
Anna Kuwaiti.
Ana
Anna
Kuwaiti,
Kuwaiti.
Ana Kuwaiti.
Yeah, yep. That's all you need to say. Exchange student. Exchange student. Okay, brother Rojo, let me tell you, you haven't been here in a while. There's new criteria. There's new criteria. This channel's monetized now. So, be respectful. Definitely use the code words. We're not focusing on them folks. We're focusing on the war that's spreading. So I got to make sure that you understand that because this channel is monetized.
You know,
So
and thank you for telling me that because now I'll be much more guarded with my words, and I'll pick my topics
yeah,
wisely.
I'm dead serious. Yeah, this is livelihood now. This is livelihood.
Oh
So
yeah, no, yeah. Well, really, what I wanted to come on for is to congratulate you on your book. I can't find it anywhere, but anyway, I
on
mean, of course.
Amazon, it's only on Amazon.
Oh, is it? That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Um, is it a hard copy or can I get the Kindle version of that?
You can get electronic, paperback, and hardcover.
Oh wow. Okay. And I want to tell you that you were fired the other night on Yakoba.
Well, listen, I had to make sure that I had my gas mask on because I don't know how far them fumes from that biolab explosion in Atlanta may have traveled. I don't know how far down I-75 that plume may have traveled.
Well,
So
hey, I'm gonna keep my comments on that only because of the sake. I really gonna search my soul to pick out the most ornamental words for your chat to protect your channel. But you said it because when I saw you with that mask, I was like, I was like, okay, am I going to walk away from my tablet and come back and see Karis a few shades darker, or maybe see him looking like the Avenger, with the mop, who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say the name of the movie,
mm,
but yeah, you, Yakoba, and Sister Eve over the past month have been on fire. I mean, right now, Yakoba has the highest accurate percentage between you three, but you and Sister E are pretty much up there. I mean, y'all aren't far behind. Y'all just been like, you know, blindfolding you and shooting the arrow, and you're splitting the arrow on the bullseye, the three of you. So I'm just very impressed, and I'm giving all three of y'all's flowers on that.
well, I appreciate it, but you know what? There is a cheat code. You know what that cheat code is?
What's that?
Obadiah chapter 1, Joel chapter 3, Jeremiah 50:51, Jeremiah 27 through 30, Zechariah. That's the word. That's the word. And the reality is, when a lot of people especially in our generation when we grew on up in the heavily Eurocentric time frame. At least I'm gonna say with my kids and that younger demographic, man, they have a fighting chance. They have a fighting chance because they're not believing any of the nonsense, which is good.
Well,
I feel like it may stop at my generation, bro. Karis, I have no clue. Maybe 35 and younger, maybe aren't as easily finessed. I have no clue, but it's I literally had to fight out of that indoctrination. But then again, I realized I was born for this time, and I was born to be different and born to be the one that shakes the foundation of whatever indoctrination or um, whatever I don't want to say curse, but I mean whatever my family inherited, all lies and whatnot. I have to be the one to completely turn that around, and that comes with obviously a lot of opposition. But the Most High, who if the Most High is for us, who could be against us?
Well, here's the thing. We have to stop taking things personal. Don't take things personal. Here, the ultimate reality is it's the Most High that changes the hearts and minds. That's not our job. Literally, that's not our job. Our job is to just be a witness. Is there any job that's on out there? Is there any scripture that's on out there that says, I have to be the one to change your hearts and minds? No. And if we think like that, then it's already lost. All the Most High said is to do what? Is to be a witness and open your mouth, and you go from there. It's been Eurocentric Christianity that has been saying, hey, you need to collect up lives. You got to do tallies for the kingdom. Like you're collecting spiritual trophies. Oh, he's won all this, folks, for the kingdom. He's won for the kingdom. Like you're selling spiritual heavenly Mary Kay. Well, my Avon.
Yeah, I
you know,
understand, but I'm coming from like
my
maybe
Amway.
the aspect of Abraham more so, like when
And, and
Abraham was the one who literally believed the Most High and then literally tried to put that on his household. But I mean, in that sense, I'm not talking about like
what was Abraham doing? Because we miss out on a lot of that because a lot of our people don't read Jasher. What was Abraham doing? He was following what the Most High was telling him to do. And what did that cause Abraham to do? He got into the fire. He got thrown into the pit. So what ended up happening? He didn't have to change people's hearts and minds and perceptions. They saw it with their own eyes. That's what they don't tell you because that's what they took on out in the canon. It's in Jasher. Our job is to literally just endure through this season. That's it. And let the Most High do what the Most High needs to do.
well, like me and my personal walk, Karis, and look, bro. What I do is when somebody tells me I'm a good person, or they want to say thank me for something for a deed I do, I just tell them in a minute, hey, if you see any good in me, it's because of the Most High. And if you want to thank me, don't thank me, thank Him, because He's just using me as a vessel. And I don't caveat it with, oh, if it was up to me, Rojo, I wouldn't. I mean, because then that's kind of sounding arrogant and really off-putting. But no, I mean, I see where you're coming from, Garth, when you say that. But like I said, I think right now when he says he sends out fishermen, a fisherman will only cast the rod. They're anglers. It's up to the fish if they want to, take the bait. which really is not taking a bait, because the bait is something that's really gonna, in the long run, you benefit them, but still it's a choice. Now, when he sends out the hunters, I mean, you don't have a choice, as to whether you pull it into the fold or if you're, I'm gonna guard my words, but made to vanish, made, made to cease. But I mean, yeah, I just kind of, take that approach to it because me personally, I'm kind of sick and and Karis, don't take this the wrong way when I say this, or anyone when I say this. I'm kind of sick and tired of, even with my own people, trying to convince them that, hey, we are who we are. Let's come together. Whatever. I mean,
Is it our job to convince them, or is it our job to just speak truth and peace? Right?
that, that
Isn't that Zechariah chapter 8 and
yeah,
chapter 9? That's
yeah.
that's the all we have to do is just speak truth and peace. That's it. Our job isn't to convince anybody. That's the Most High. So and this is what we have to realize, that when we're trying to do all the convincing, that's the enemy trying to say, well, if you don't do that, they're going to be lost. If you don't do that, the blood is going to be on your hands. No, no, because you go back to the scripture and says, look, this is what I'm responsible for. I'm responsible to honor the Most High, to obey his laws, and to be a light to the nations. I'm not going to be on out here trying to drag people. You need to believe this. No, that's Romanology. That's Rome. Well, if you don't do it, then I'm going to have a sword for you. That's Rome. That's not our job. And what that tries to do, because in the flesh, what the enemy's trying to do, he's trying to trigger you, because now you're going to be thinking more about doing this and doing that instead of just saying, hey, well, what does the Most High need me to do? You start to get on your own agenda, vice what the Most High needs you to do. And I'm going to tell you this. The Most High doesn't need he doesn't need our help. That's vanity. Get out of vanity. I know it's hard. Oh, we want to convince you. I want to show people. No, you don't need to show anybody anything. They can see it with their eyes. This is a moment that they have to judge for themselves. Exactly, Desiree. Shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. That's it. When Yahusha sent the 72 out, shake the dust off. Did it say that they went to the villagers and they begged, please, please, please listen to the message? Please, please, please. No. Because all you're going to do is you're going to hold on to a burden that you shouldn't even be holding on to begin with. Stop trying to do the work that the Most High, that's intended for the Most High. Stop.
Serious question, Brother Karras. So when in Ezekiel it says that you have to be a watcher. No, what is it called? You have to be a watcher, steward of the times, or he's made watchmen, and if you don't warn them, that there'll be blood on your hands. You know what I'm talking about.
You
So
warned them. You're warning them. You're moving. You're talking. You're walking. Guess what? You're warning them.
okay, so
It's
Brother Karras.
just in a practical application, just so we understand where we just don't, extraneously keep on warning them. I'm just trying to make sense. I'm not saying make sense because I understand what you're saying, but just for being edifying for those who just came into the faith and those who are, just getting into this, what does that look like? And, basically just so because there comes to an extent where, yes, you just have to, shake off the dust, or you can't cast your pearl before swine, and all that. So that's just what I'm saying.
Brother Karras, good morning. May I say something, or you
No,
want
go
to?
ahead. Shalom, brother Doug.
Shalom,
Go ahead.
shalom. I am mindful that you are monetized. Let me say that. It's early in the morning here, 5:20 in the morning. And in relating to your conversation, what made me jump on, I wasn't going to jump on, but what made me jump on is because I'm doing in the very process of doing what you're talking about, Brother Karras. I'm about to knock the dust of where I'm at off my feet, and I'm going to focus on my own development spiritually in a
Mm-hmm.
place where I can be unfettered. But to answer the brother's, I think, question, in my mind, we serve as a warning by our conduct.
Yep.
We are ambassadors to the kingdom of heaven. And as we diligently go about the preparation needed for the arrival of the kingdom, some may look and wonder. And they may open up their mouth, or they may give the look that requires you respond. And at that point, you give a warning. You don't attempt a conversion. Those days are over. Conversion days are over, gentlemen. I've been out there in the streets for the last 4, 5, 6 months watching the common American. I'm just telling you. And, conversions, I say, are a thing of the past, but warnings at an appropriate time, spoken just, with as much tact and seriousness as you can apply, backing it all with scriptures, prophecy, and moving on to continue your business. Because you don't have time to convince people. You ask yourself how long it took you. Now, I was in the Baptist church. My father was a Baptist minister. I was a Jehovah's Witness. I tried everything,
Mm-hmm.
everything. Family was a Seventh-day Adventist. I came into the truth through edifices like T.I. Ministries, Karis, Dante Fortson, Sister. All these individuals formed my eventual conclusion, because that's what you're trying to get them to come to. Not a convincing, but they need to come to a conclusion. You see, you don't have time for them to conclude. It's too short.
Mm.
What you do is you go about what you need to do and let them ask you questions, or let them look with interest, or let your own spirit connect with those you come into association with, and choose wisely not to cast your pearls before swine,
Mm-hmm.
and do it all while moving. I will tell you, gentlemen, the next few days are going to tell the tale. It's happening right now. I've been
Yes.
up since 4 o'clock in the morning watching the news, and it's
Mm-hmm.
insanity. I don't have time for you to come to a conclusion at this point, because I've concluded. If you want to know my conclusion, watch what I'm doing. Look at the people I listen to. Otherwise, I have things to do.
Yep.
And I land there.
Shout out to Pastor Rick Fletcher. He had said that earlier. Also, look, you just can't. Let me let me find that. You just listen. You can't just be perpetually trying to, you know, oh, when are you gonna do it? Listen, people make a choice. They make their choice. Look, all I can do is do what the Most High is showing me and telling me to do. And if you want to follow my example or follow my lead, great. If you want to sincerely be warned and have questions, great. People do that all the time. They email me all the time. That's why I have my covenantawakenings@gmail.com. You can ask the question. But see, as Pastor Rick Fletcher has said, shout out to Pastor Rick Fletcher. Awesome job. Please visit his channel, family. Warn them already. It doesn't have to be repeated perpetually. Be led by the Ruach. Be led by the Ruach. All we can do is look, show you what's happening in Syria, show you what's happening in the Middle East, show you what's happening around the world, show you what's happening with these now port strikes that's now leading to famine in the next couple of weeks. Yes, family, next couple of weeks. We're here at this time. This is a valley of decision. This is the valley of decision. As Arnold Johnson has said, they all watched Noah build the ark. That says it all. Yep. They've seen us. They've ridiculed us. They threatened us. But guess what? They couldn't stop what the Most High was doing. They could not stop what the Most High was doing. Let me get on into this, and I'll get to you, Brother Mike, and then Brother Asaph. But I want to show you this right here. This is in Syria, another video. When those popping off, those are usually ordinances. And there you go, the more secondary explosions. So they hit an ammo depot or ammunition supply point, which is a actual technical verbiage. And it was still popping off. Those become minimized or minimal weapons caches. You get weapons caches, they're spread out everywhere. Never put your ammo all in the same location. That's literally, tactics of warfare. Don't put everything everywhere because, something blows up, it all blows up, and then you're just out of luck, right? So let me go ahead. I want to share this video because this was another good one.
To that one. That other one. What's that going on over there on the left?
This is all what's happening. Well, what happened in Syria? This is purportedly by U.S. and them folks. That was earlier today, and this is on Russian assets. So, family, understand. You now have basically breaking into the fold Russia. And thank you, Brother Garth. This is the article that he shared. I'm going to share this in the chat. And there are other news articles. Israel, or that Eastern Mediterranean nation, this is what is being said by Breaking the News.net. Allegedly strike storage near Russian base in Syria. So the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported that a drone raid targeted an ammunition depot near the city of Jebla in Latakia province in Syria. So it occurred near the largest Russian air base in Syria and coincided with the presence of warships at sea and warplanes, which it said were likely them folks. And understand, if it's likely them folks, it's U.S. is included. U.S. is included. Brother Mike, shalom.
Shalom, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm praying you're good on your electricity.
Hey, man, let me tell you something, bro. I'm like you, Sister Shar. I spoke with her earlier, and Garth. I was up And I went. I didn't realize I went. I don't think I did. But anyway, hey, hold on, Karis. I'll be right back.
All right. Brother Asaph, shalom. How goes it
Shalom.
over on the other side of the pond?
Well, we're just holding on to our seats at the moment. You know, I'm in Babylon at the moment, but I decided to come on for a bit because I'm the only person that's around. I'm telling you that it doesn't look like I'm going to collect my pension after working all these years.
I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm sorry. May the Most High grant you that and more back in our land.
You know, yeah, I'm laughing now because we didn't realize that this would pull up on us so quick. And it doesn't matter how much these people gaslight us. We know what we're seeing. And, you know, we could have told them that this was going to happen right now. But most people don't believe us. And there's this normalcy bias amongst my colleagues and stuff like that who think that there's nothing that's going to happen. And because it's so far away, nothing's not going to happen. But you know, the thing is, we're just probably weeks away from this place being finished.
So,
Mhm.
I want to add in another dimension, and I'll get back to you, Brother Mike. I don't think a lot of people realize that the United States backstops a lot of the UK.
Exactly. We're very dependent on them.
I don't think folks realize that our port strike will hurt the UK and it will hurt Europe.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So
They're only
Europe,
talking about the US, but they don't know, they're not even telling you about things globally. This is a global catastrophe in the making, and they can't even realize it. That's how this shipping works. Brother Mike, go ahead.
Yeah. You know, you just said that. And what was it? Yeah, day before yesterday. And it's a sad thing about it is, I don't know, is this what? Well, I was speaking to Sister Shard this morning, and she started to laugh at me. And I said, we gonna have to make it so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. They're gonna have to be our national anthem. It's gonna have to be our national anthem because a lot of things we got used to. Like Brother Axel, he was looking for, his retirement. He was looking for his retirement. And what? It seemed like all of that stuff is hey, Karis, hold on just for a moment, right back.
All right. Brother Rojo, I know you have been licking at the chops to say something. Come on, Brother Rojo.
Hey, look. All I want to say is that I live on your time zone now, so a lot of stuff pertaining to. Can we say the S word? I mean, I really want to be careful on what I say on your channel now. Well, strike. With that, I'm in Pennsylvania, so I know it's with the ILA, but Karis too, that the ILA and the Teamsters are very closely clicked in together, and typically what one does, the other quickly does, consequently after. So yeah, you're right. It is going to get very hard, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm embracing it because I think we personally, we're like Vegeta. We train, live, eat, sleep in the gravity chamber. Everybody else doesn't. So I think it's going to affect them worse. Yeah, will we get the bad residuals because they're going to take it out on us, obviously, like always. But I think that we're in a pretty good place right now.
You know, brother Karis, I look at that strike and wonder how anyone can take this seriously. The guy who is leading this strike, the arrogant individual in charge of that, he drives a Bentley, he's got a yacht, and he's talking about they want a 700% increase or 77% increase in their pay over a certain number of years. And I thought hard that the West Coast, who has a different union and is modernizing by putting fully automated machines in place. I thought about what these folks do, and I watched the lot of them. I'm just going to say, all of them look like overweight folks whose job it is to watch boxes move from one place to the other. And the fact that you can absolutely get machines to do what they do kind of begs the question: why would they tip on that delicate balance when they have a solution on the West Coast facing them that can be taken over time? It's my opinion that this guy's working with Trump to destabilize the election period by denying people as much as they can get, whether he wins or loses, to blame it on the Democrats or whatever the case may be. The guy that's talking is arrogant, man. I'm just listening to his voice, listening to what he says. Sounds like a mob boss. Like, we watch what we can do. They wouldn't tolerate that from anybody except that person. I'll land there.
Except that
Yeah.
huge person. If that was us talking,
Man,
we'd be
please.
assassinated.
The way he's literally saying that he can hold the country. He says, watch what happens in a week, watch what happens in 2 weeks. And the guy drives a seriously expensive car and rides around on his yacht and his home and all this, living as large as anyone. And, just the arrogance, the hubris. I don't think anybody would rock that boat. I think there's more involved.
To be honest, I don't have a problem with that because to me, that's Satan going against Satan and their house is being divided. So, I mean, rock on. I'm with it.
Oh no, I'm all for it. Sink it, for goodness sake. I know how to swim.
This is what they begged for. I mean, they wanted this. I mean, they've been wanting this fight with Iran. What, over 7 years ago?
Nah,
Over 7.
they wanted this fight with Iran. I'm going to tell you, almost 40 years in the making. They wanted this fight with Iran since Carter.
I mean, they getting it, and so I mean, bruh.
The thing is, though, is they didn't want this fight. See, they wanted this fight under their terms.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I see
those
that.
plans.
I see that.
I was in the military. Some of you folks are in the military. They make plans. Trump allowed some of those plans to be observed, to be read. Top secret plans. Those plans were made, but it was all on their terms. Now they had scenarios: if then, all that. But what I'm certain they didn't really take into account was that Israel would drag the United States into the war. I don't understand people not reading Bibi's words. He said, after we milk the United States for everything they have, they can dry up and blow away for all I care. He said that in the Knesset. So the move is to utilize the strength of the United States to secure their position where they are absolutely uninvited and unwanted. And, it's the last gasp of European homogeny. This is it, man.
Is that Yacoba and the Candy Man has been on point over the past year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, shucks.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
And the fact that less than 48 hours later, you now have things blowing up in Syria by Russian bases. That's not helping. It's not helping, and it's not helping. That what they're trying to do is they're trying to rush the United States into a battle The problem is the U.S. doesn't really have the forces like that. The U.S. doesn't have the supply chain like that. And honestly, to me, this is just my opinion. To me, it looks as though, we could have supported, but we're gonna have issues with ships and everything else, and we're gonna have issues back home. So we're gonna have to tend to that. It gives them an out. It gives the US an out to have their ports on strike. It
Hey,
gives
Kerry,
the US an out. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
brother, let's just be honest about the U.S. military. A third of them are asking for pink camos. How are you going to go to battle with troops like that?
Well, here's the problem. And you're absolutely right. And here's the problem. The recruitment amongst our people has been at historical lows. Historical lows. And what we tend to do is that we tend to go into the military because, listen, you generally get paid very well. The schedule of payment, first and the 15th. Listen, you are going to be okay. But here's the issue: the amount of racism that's been plaguing the military has been ridiculous. It's been nonstop since early 2020. And it didn't get any better. And on top of that, they now have their person or their people of color narrative that was always going to be a detriment to us, because everybody's a person of color. Don't worry, I go through the same thing as you. I'm a person of color. Don't worry, I'll get reparations same as you. I'm a person of color. Did you have to endure the transatlantic slave trade? No. Do you see how they literally just watered down everything? Do you see how they finessed? And it was our people that were the go along to get alongs that did what? I mean, Brother Doug, you're up there in the West.
Man, let me tell you.
California. What happened in California? They said no reparations. Come on, Brother Doug.
Well, Gavin Newsom held that carrot out to brothers and sisters in California, yanked it back, did it deftly, using brothers and sisters to do so. Some places gave brothers money, and they went, and the civilians lost their minds, as they know they would. Listen, folks, they don't want to give us money because they know what it's going to do to the psyche of the typical American. We can stop that. I mean, if they could shut us up with a few million each and never, ever, ever hear about slavery again, because that would be the condition on taking the bag. Okay, you take the bag and say something about your past and see what they do to you. But more than that, I think back to the movie we all are familiar with, when the brother had a piano and one of them didn't. I want you to understand the psychology of that. Brother had a piano and one of them didn't. We wanted to go attack the brother because he had a piano. You don't know how to play the piano. I don't care. You just shouldn't have one. Where are we, people? This ain't home. You ain't gonna be comfortable. And when I hear people talking about turning their backs and letting things go and having to, that maintain no pillar of salt in your countenance, I am blessed by reversal and having absolutely nothing to hold on to in this country. Nothing. I don't have anything. This place shut down. I could walk out and not miss nothing, because there'd be nothing here that I would want to keep. The memory of this place is the only thing I'll keep when I leave.
Doug, I feel for y'all in California because Gavin Newsom is trying to drown y'all out literally. He's letting IAs and carriers, you get to code my words. IAs, what's coming over there? Document. Yeah.
Coming under the listen, they're not coming over the border. I saw them folks like just sneaking under the border. They came through like
They dug under.
They came through like they got out of a Eastern Mediterranean nation bomb shelter. When
They studied those people in Brooklyn, brother Karras, and to say what brother Doug said, yeah, I mean that's why I feel like we are just being tried, and we see the fragility of the system, and the Most High is putting it in our spirit to not trust in it and to just not just disdain it, because you know we
No,
are always afflicted for righteousness, so for righteousness sake, so you know it's like he's not going to make us comfortable, because and then if you're not comfortable here, you don't see a future here, then you just stick to him when your situation is dire, or you're being challenged. It's to level you up spiritually, to rely on him more, and he's going to build you up and strengthen you to preserve you through this time.
but
Hallelujah. So let
but
me let me let me
go
let
ahead,
me
go ahead,
let me
brother.
touch on the point that Doug had stated with the piano. That was Rosewood. Rosewood is about 2 hours away from me. I've visited the place. I've took photos of the marker that's on State Road 24 going surprisingly. Do you know what State Road 24 goes to? It goes to Cedar Key. And Cedar Key got wiped off the map. That was actually the town that was settled after Rosewood, right? Because they don't want to stay on a place that that innocent blood was spilt on. So they create other towns, and Cedar Key happened to be a direct a town that was directly um, populated right afterwards. So understand, what am I getting at right now? I just put this is a Money Watch, PBS News. The U.S. is experiencing its first East Coast port strike since 1977. Here's what to know. Thousands of dock workers at every major East and Gulf Coast port are now striking, closing trade gateways that handle about half of all goods shipped in containers in and out of the U.S. President Joe Biden on Sunday said he would not intervene and that the labor dispute should be resolved through collective bargaining. The strike comes after the top Biden administration officials met with members of the United States Maritime Alliance, USMX, a shipping industry group representing terminal operators and ocean carriers on Friday, urging them to negotiate ahead of the contract expiring at midnight on September 30th. Well, it already shut down. This may be an old thing. Experts say a shutdown could severely hamper the flow of goods and raise shipping costs. And we have noticed that, especially with Question Night Africa, with some of our projects. This is taking a toll. When air freight is comparable to sea freight, that spells bad news for the economy. Everything is going to get expensive. And here's the thing, it's not just going to be expensive, it's going to cause shortages. And it's going to affect people when they're not able to get their essentials. This is where we're at, family. I was listening again to Poplar Report. Folks there that have been affected by Helene, they are pew-pewing each other. Shout out to Brother Rojo. They're coming there with the Kit Kats and the Snickers bars, waiting in line for gas, and they're pew-pewing each other. They're going to mess around and blow up a gas station, pew-pewing each other. What'd you do that for, Vern?
What
Just
you
waste wine like the rest of us.
Hey, brother, I gave you that Kit Kat.
Hey, look, since y'all open the door, I'm gonna walk through it, but I'm gonna do it respectfully and cautiously. You remember in I don't know the name of the city. I want to say Greenboro, or anywhere somewhere in North Carolina, where the one brother was found like he was. What anyway?
Henderson. That was Henderson. I think it was outside of like
Yeah, outside of Henderson.
yeah, Raleigh, or I think it was like almost like Fayetteville. I think it's where Henderson's at. Yeah, go ahead.
But when our sweetheart Helene came through and did her thing,
Mm.
it was 60 of them found in the same condition. I'll just leave it at that. You can read the article.
You know the saddest thing is they said it's over 100,000 people that are shut off from water. From water.
Where's this at?
This is in North Carolina. So, Brother Mike, you know, when you have to go to that well and you got to bring up that water for the day, just think about folks in America, you know, that'll be looking,
You know what?
looking like Save the Children for $3 a day. You can get them some water. They can't even get the water. This is, man.
You know, I was just considering that any major disaster on either coast would culminate in a compression of this society's population, causing an intermingling between individuals who would otherwise not have any association with each other. And that close proximity may cause problems. I'm just thinking about that. I'm just thinking about relocation. I'm just thinking about all, you think about what's happening over in these places. Can't happen in one place, can happen in another. And it seems to be a cascading tide of disaster after disaster after disaster. As people relocate and intermingle, those that are coming from below, fat with the wealth of the United States, this is like a cauldron, a petri dish, nearly. This is almost a scientific experiment gone bad, and we're caught in the middle of it. We were a key ingredient to this experiment. Our part in it is done.
So you understand what you get where I'm coming from, Brother Doug. You understand? You take us out of this equation,
and the whole thing unravels
on each other. Yo,
no, the whole thing unravels because listen, they have nothing to focus on at that point. Listen, if we leave. I want you to know this. I was trapped.
It's not it. Let me
brother
Doug. When we leave, go ahead.
When we leave, thank you. When we leave, the center will not hold. The reason that'll be is because they won't have the focus they need to maintain the violent nature on us, and they'll have to express that somehow. They're going to look at each other and find some defect they just don't like. And that's going to start the melee.
Yeah,
these folks are hanging on by a thread. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They're looking for people to take their frustration out on, and we're nowhere to be found.
Exactly. And listen, brother, they're accustomed to having us because they've always had us. Yep. You think about what I'm saying. Your wife in the early 1700s, your wife irritates you in some way, but you don't want it to look bad that you are doing anything to your wife and you bruise on it, but you have a few slaves that you can go take your aggressions out on. Nobody will say a word.
Come on now.
Brother, how long you think that's been going on? And how long do you think these people do that?
You hear about them abusing each other and their families.
Listen, exactly. When they have the conduit through which they can exercise their violent tendencies and it doesn't affect one of them, much more the better. And they lose that, and watch what happens to these folks.
Well, we're going to discuss this a little bit more, but we're going to have a commercial break right now. A commercial break.
Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. The reason that I can say that is you have a couple of different factors occurring right now as we speak on the world stage. The dollar is being disrupted. Nations are no longer wanting to engage with the United States. But the third factor that affects each and every one of us is that there is a diaspora from the African continent that's willing and able to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent. The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
All right, we're back. Thank
Can
you
I make
all.
a comment on your commercial, brother? Can I give one commendation?
What's that?
I'm so glad that you did not wear a skinny suit on that on that interview.
Oh
People
Lord,
that walk around with these skinny suits.
Lord
Oh, they
have
making me so
mercy.
mad.
Do you have a
I
skinny
know.
suit,
I knew
brother?
Doug gonna say something.
Hey, look, look, but look, they do have a point, Karis, because our good brother Carmen, that's all he wears is those painted on suits.
I was trying to get my 5 heartbeats on. Sometimes I
Hey, hey,
get
hey, brother Karras, I have
salvation.
your back. Tell them that the days of the Steve Harvey baggy fit is over. You just need.
And also, I got to say this too, Karis, and maybe it's something the first time I bring up is not too laughable, but so I won't say the name. I'll just say this: I'm glad you didn't come on the stage as the shiny suit man.
I was actually thinking that I do actually have some shiny suits. So I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I had those out in Saudi Arabia. I was looking, I was looking. I was looking sharp on out there, man. Them Indians on out there, them Bangladeshis out there in Saudi Arabia. Shoot,
My friend, you look very dapper.
yeah, they'll hook you on up.
Hey,
That
My
3-piece suit
friend, where did you get this
for
Oh,
dapper from?
$80.
okay,
That's the
boy.
last suit. That's the last suit you need to be wearing anything shiny in Beirut. You're a target.
Man,
Hey, and don't let the full moon come out. Oh yeah, you good as gone.
you targeted right now. You
you be looking like the moon man
Mm-mm.
in the middle of the desert.
Here he come, lighting up the world. Uh,
I
God.
don't know if that's what they was talking about. Be a light unto the world with a steel gray suit.
yep. Listen,
Hey,
yeah,
be like that old song from the 80s. People have to wear their sunglasses at night.
yep. Oh my goodness.
hey, but Karis, but let me ask you something. But now did Iran do a second strike, or it was just this first one and that was it?
Well, Iran had struck, and then there were some other strikes that it looks like from its proxies, just different drones and things of that nature.
Okay.
However, the biggest one was a quick retaliation. Look, they haven't even retaliated on Iran yet. They already said that that's a foregone conclusion. They're going to retaliate on Iran. The problem that we're going to run into is, when's that going to happen? I would say because you're going to have U.S. involvement. You will. I don't care
What I was just about to ask you that.
I don't care what anybody's going to say. You don't have U.S. involvement.
Do you
Just like
think that will bring Russia into it too?
Oh, absolutely. They just hit a Russian air base in Syria. You had mentioned that, but here just now, I'm looking at the news, and they just did Israel hits a central Beirut with an airstrike, and it killed 7, and that's now within the hour. That's in fact, I'm looking at live footage on it, and Beirut is smoking. Beirut's on
Yeah.
fire.
I give a lot.
Let's get to the Twitterverse. Let's get to the Xverse.
Somebody I know personally in Virginia had just said that they have emergency and military style vehicles out there right now as we're speaking.
Okay.
I mean, they're going to send troops. Folks, listen, these folks are going to spend their blood and treasure to hold on to this fantasy they've held on to for 70 plus years. They're not going to, there's no limit to what they'll, because look, I think you can agree that if it goes down, if it looks as if the Arabian Arabs decide to turn as one and emaciate, that's the end of the story for the United States, because there's really no reason for them to continue. What the world is now finding a reason to close the door on this place, and over there is just that last string that needs to be tugged.
Mm. Well, let me show you this. I had this going on. This is in Beirut. Looks like right now in Daria. Pearl, Beirut. This is downtown Beirut. Active war zone. There's another one that is. Let me share this with you all. Okay.
Allahu Akbar.
Mm.
Allahu Akbar.
Mm. I'm telling you, understand that when that happens here, a lot of folks are going to start going crazy.
Shalom, Karis. Shalom to everyone on the panel, and shalom to everyone in the chat. I was thinking the same thing. The breathing is not something to laugh at. We could be like, "Oh my gosh, listen to that," but it's like they're scared. They're scared. We see these things on film, on television, and it's just it's become so customary that we don't actually understand the reality of it. But when it comes to your own, when it comes to your home, when it's in your area, when this is real for you, then you will understand. It's I mean, we have, like I said, we have become so accustomed to seeing this. We know that excuse me, during the 90s we had a lot of films that was showing, delete the these people, America would go over there and, kick everyone's butts and everything. And it's like, hey, America, this and that. But these are real people. These are real people. And it's like, for us, it's like we see this and we're watching it through in the safety of our own home and through these screens. But for them, they're showing us what's going on. We shouldn't take this lightly, because most of these people are staying there just to get the story out, because we already know what these people lie and try to cover up everything. So the fact that they're standing there, they're probably terrified out of their wits. They can feel the vibrations of these explosions and everything. And it's like, I'm going to stay here so that other people can see the truth, because I know that a lot of people are not getting things out. Now, remember, before all of this, the narrative was that the Palestinians were the evil ones. That was the narrative, and it's only through us really awakening that we was able to construct and change that narrative and understand. And then we saw all of this happening. But all of this is happening because of our awakening. But at the end of the day, they have to go through what they have to go through, right? They are going through what they're going through because their ancestors did what they did to us. They're going through it now. These people, these Gentiles, they're about to go through it. Remember, the Arab slave trade started before the transatlantic slave trade, so it's only right that they're going through it now. They've been going through it since the fall of the Ottoman Empire. So this is their judgment, and a lot of them, it's kind of humbling. It is really humbling because we watch them crying and pulling out their children, and they say, do you know what they say? Now they say Allah, but it is what it is. They say this is Allah's will. On some level, they know. On some level, they know. That's why they can accept. I find a sense of, I don't know, respect for them, that they actually accept this is what we're going through now. That could be down to their religion, but they accept that. Can we say the same thing for these Gentiles in the West when this comes to them? Can we say that they will act with humility and accept that this is their turn now? We already know the answer to that.
Well, let me just kind of clarify that. Now, they will act with humility, right? When they realize that they've been defeated, they'll act with humility. But then by that point in time, nobody will care. Well, you want to be humble now, but I think it's a lie, and I'm going to continue to pummel and pummel and pummel you into oblivion. It's going to be too late for them. When they get defeated, it's going to be too late. Oh, let's come to the table. Let's come to terms. You should have done that, 6-7 months ago.
Let's come to terms when you've got nothing to offer.
Exactly.
Don't want nothing.
Yeah. We want from you, we want your physical labor.
That's about the only thing they can offer.
Yep. We want your hands and your feet to do what? To get on over here and clean up.
That's exactly right. You look and see what these.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Well, you see what these. Listen, I think it's slowly dawning on the world, the entitlement, the privilege, the exceptionalism, all of the things that they created for the world to accept them as, slightly above it all. And they all see that was a paper tiger of nothing. And now they're looking to figure out what purpose do Americans serve other than to talk about America? They don't welcome people into their country anymore. It's no longer give us your tired, your poor, your leaning masses, your unbriefed. That's not happening anymore. It's all about them. The selfishness of this kind of right-wing nationalism that now is kind of gripping them. And they want to make the Bible the seat of government. They want to make sure that, Christianity, their version of it, is the law of the land. And they're going to go to no lengths to make that a possibility, but it's slipping. Nobody believes them anymore. What do you believe?
They don't even believe them anymore.
They don't even believe what they're saying. Exactly. When you came on, sister, I got to tell you, when I feel so bad for our brothers and sisters across the pond who have to, hear somebody, threaten their lives and really mean it. I can't even believe what it must be to hear Putin say, you know what, I'm going to start with Britain. We just vaporize them. How about that? Why don't we just start there? And you're just looking at it on TV. This guy is serious. We're living in the times, these folks, it's a race war. Let me say this. This is, if I can say that, that's what it is. Because the folks that are in the middle of this, where they have not been welcomed since they arrived, were told they would have no peace. And then when that eventuality comes to pass, suddenly they lose their collective minds and go on a spree. And I mean, look at this. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to hold on to the last vestige of, dare I say, white supremacy.
Roman power.
Greco-Roman power. Thank you. Sorry.
And you're absolutely right. It is their Greco-Roman power. And you have to understand when you hear how they try to operate within their diplomatic spaces, right? Oh yeah, we'll treat you like this. We won't treat you like a black person. We're we see you all as equals and everything else. That's the buttering up. And in reality, nah, they don't see any of these Arabs as equal. They see them as beneath. Don't think that this is like, a far-fetched, far-gone conclusion that, oh no, we want to treat everybody respectfully and with humility. We're talking about the West. And I had to, a couple of back on Tuesday before everything got kicked off, literally like 2-3 hours before, I said, for the new Iranian prime minister, I'm like, how stupid how dumb could you be? How dumb could you be? Oh, well, we were told that America was working on a peace plan with them Eastern Mediterranean folks, and they lied. They
Well, have they
lied.
ever been honest though?
All I could see was like the Charlie Murphy clip running in my head where they just bust out laughing. Like, you believe what they were saying? That was the Charlie Murphy gif. Because that's all I could.
Are you talking about Iran lying?
No, I'm talking about the U.S. lying to
Oh, right,
Iran.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand why they. When have they? That's why I said, when have they ever not lied?
I heard you ask that, and their existence is predicated on deceit, and that's just all there is to it. They wrote it into their docs. Everything they can do is permissible to further their cause. Doesn't matter.
So this is something that when you see the escalation, and the saddest reality is that Iran is still getting lied to, because you have to understand their back channels and their back dealings is, oh well, give us some more money and we'll stop and everything else. We're gonna really talk to them Eastern Mediterranean folks. We're really gonna have a cessation of fire. We're really gonna, all of this stuff. And it's like, you gotta understand, they're gonna continue to lie their behinds off, because at the end of the day, the reality is the U.S. is not safe, and neither is Europe. The U.S. is not safe, and neither is Europe. Because here's the thing: if the U.S. isn't the number one target, guess who's behind the U.S. as the number two target? And that's where you're sitting at, Sister Chantel.
I know. Ain't not special.
And those supersonics, some hypersonics, come to you quicker than us.
I know. It's only a few mileage, I'm telling you. But listen, it's just
falling down.
Exactly. Listen, I wanted to read something quickly in regards to what you said.
Sunshine.
Yes. In regards to what you said about Iran being lied to, this is Psalms 55 verse 21. But the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Listen, that's exactly where we are right now. That's exactly where we are right now. It's exactly what I was saying the other day. That's we will read this, and every time we read it, the further we go down in this timeline, the more truer these scriptures it's like we are literally, this is the never-ending story. This is the true never-ending story.
Read Thessalonians 5:3 from, sis. Read Thessalonians 5:3 from.
What's that, sorry?
Thessalonians 5:3.
Okay, give me a second.
Atreyu.
I was thinking that when you said it. Which one? First or second Thessalonians?
I believe it's the first. And I'll say, read Thessalonians 1, 5, and 3.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
1, 5, and 3, huh? Are you sure?
Okay.
First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3.
Yeah, one signifies the book, 5 signifies the chapter.
I know that.
Okay.
Oh, breaking it down.
All right, hold on. Sorry, my phone is just going all janky. I'll just had the advert just come up. Okay, 5 verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. I really don't want those people to escape. What really bothered me was the first thing when there was so much news coming out about how they're leaving that Middle East place. The first question, Karis, can you remember what my first question was when we were talking about, they're leaving that place? What was my first question? Because there's only one question that I care about when it's them people leaving the lands that they take. There's only one question I care about, and that is, where are they going? Where are they going? Did they go to Africa? I don't care where. They can go to Europe, they can go to America, they can go to Asia. I don't care. Stay yourself out of our homeland. I don't want you in there. We don't want you in there.
Well, when you come up to that scripture that you was quoting when they talking about peace and security, it was just like what Brother Doug was talking about. If all of us is gone, all of us back home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Jacobo said, they blame us for everything. All righty. We've been trampled upon. Our people did some stuff, and now everybody is back in their own country. And I seriously believe they go. Like, we done paid them the reparations. We sent them back home. We have peace. We have everlasting peace. And like what Brother Doug said, it's going to hit them because the frustration going to get to them, and they ain't got nowhere to take their frustration out on except for themselves.
They are ill at ease. The reason for the sword, I'm not saying I know, but the reason I would say they might have that sword, they're at a disadvantage. They're at a disadvantage, and they speak soft things but have war in their hearts because they're at that disadvantage. They have no covenant with the Most High. They're cut off. They have no covenant. They have no hope, if you will. They're agitated because they're making up their own covenants with these long, elaborate writings they put together, and then they have their progeny live under the auspices of these fake manifestos. That's why they write manifestos, folks. Are we not connecting the dots, the emptiness these folks have? They are lost, and if we leave, all they'll be left with is what's missing.
They're manifestos.
What's missing.
They don't like each other.
They'll be looking at each other, and they'll see what we see. And as I've said before, the very light rejects them.
Yes.
Light itself rejects them. And they watch as light rejects them, each other. And if we're gone, if the warm glow of Negroes is out of reach, I mean, what are they going to do except act out? Yeah,
well, what
peace
they doing
and security.
Before that?
Yeah. What were they? Ma'am, thank you so much. These were barbaric tribes warring each other in Europe.
Videos of dances that they stole from us.
Give me a break. Look at Braveheart. Look at all these movies that depict them.
Braveheart as well, Germanic, the title itself.
Yeah, Germanic tribes warring with each other. And why? Because they were looking at each other and they saw each other.
Let me go ahead and share this article here. I put it in the chat. This is a big deal. This is really a big deal. This isn't fake news. This is Mina. I think Mina.
This is really huge because they don't like each other.
Yep, this is really big. I broke it here live, folks. I broke it here live here on Covenant Awakenings channel, folks.
Hold on. Isn't the Israelite purpose supposed to do that?
I was trying to talk like the long shaggy haired guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Cousin
Hey,
Ips
hey, brother Karras,
or
what
Captain
has happened
Caveman.
on the interwebs? What's the latest news? I was just listening to some Leonard Skinner.
Now
ACB
that just put a
folks.
cold chill down my spine, boy. I don't like that right there. Don't do that. Next you'll go yee-haw,
You
and I'll
know,
just
listen
drop
to
off.
And
Alabama.
smack your knee as well when he
Yeehaw,
does it.
Alabama.
Boy, I better not hear a banjo. Nobody hit a banjo, please.
Boy, it's hot down here.
Well,
It's
personally,
hot
brother Doug,
days, all day.
I like to play my harmonica, but I play a little bit of banjo, some fiddle too.
Man, if
Oh Lord.
I will blast that Stewie skit.
Oh
Where
my
is
goodness,
Oh, I
please
remember
no.
that one.
Jack?
Don't
I beg
do it,
you. I
son.
beg
Look
you.
here.
Do it. I
Oh
do it. Do it. Do
God.
it. Do it. I'm
Like,
like
sure it's hot down
Palpatine.
here.
Do it.
I'm sorry. That was the funniest Family Guy skit in history.
I remember that
Oh,
one.
all right. So I'm sorry I tangented here on the Covenant Awakenings channel. I will tangent into foolishness. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. But if you want to support the channel, you can do so at PayPal at Karasi at MSN.com. Because with all these articles that I'm showing, and I don't show anything on the Trumpster, and what's coming up here for the debacle in in less than 4 weeks now? Aren't we almost 5 weeks away? Yeah, it's craziness, family. It's gonna be pure chaos. So let me go to here because this is a big deal. This is a big deal. Iran's president Pezeshkian meets Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal amid fears of regional escalation. The two leaders discussed the latest development following the Iranian president's meeting with the Emir of Qatar. There's so much into this. Oh my goodness, this would
But
take me about
brother
2 or
Karras,
3 hours.
from what I understand, this man has a price on his head.
Which one?
The
Pezeshkian.
the president, yeah,
The Iranian.
or Canadian Prepper was talking about. I think you said, if I'm saying it wrong, the Ayatollah.
And let me tell you this. I want to get into this article, and we'll tell you why that will not be, why they won't interdict.
Okay.
I'll tell you the reason why. Because let me get into this. All right. Because there is a big statement that is made here by Saudi Arabia. This is what I was looking for. This is a national, October 3rd, 2024. Iran's President Pezeshkian left, meets with Saudi Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan in Doha, Qatar. So Doha is supposed to be like the Arab Switzerland. Okay, that's how it is. And Doha is really nice. I like Doha. It's small, but it's nice. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian met Saudi Arabia's foreign minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan in Doha amid mounting fears of regional escalation following Iran's massive missile attack on Israel. The two leaders discussed the latest regional and international developments in their meeting late on Wednesday in Qatar's capital, the official Saudi press agency said. So literally about maybe, because right now it's probably about 5:30. So this is probably like just late breaking. This is really more than likely just late breaking minutes. Saudi Arabia and Iran, among the region's powerhouses, restored diplomatic ties in March last year, ending a 7-year rift. Their rapprochement has opened the door to top-level contact, but caution remains a defining characteristic of their relations. Meeting in Doha came a day after Iran launched 180 ballistic missiles on them folks to avenge the killing of Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah. Iran's main regional proxy and Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh earlier this year. the conflict. Them folks that is made back in the U.S. have vowed to hit back hard to avenge Tuesday's attack. But Iran said on Wednesday its missile volley, the biggest assault on them folks, was over, barring further provocation. Sources briefed on diplomatic efforts to diffuse tensions in the Middle East was searching for ways to prevent a major escalation. All right. I'm going to go on down here. And they didn't have the. Oh. All right. Qatar's Amir Sheikh Tamim said on Wednesday that Doha will continue mediation to end the war in Gaza in a joint press conference. Basically, nothing. That's a nothing burger. The recent surge of conflict in Lebanon is what we have been warning against since the beginning of Israeli aggression, and cease its unjust war in the West Bank. And then Pezeshkian warned at the news conference that if them folks act against Iran, then Tehran will respond in a more severe way. We are not in pursuit of war with them folks. He said they promised us peace, but they lied. But them has terrorized our guests in Tehran during our presidential inauguration. We want to establish peace. If you disagree, peace will not be established. I want to find there is a statement by Saudi Arabia. And I wish they had that statement in the article here, because that statement was very, very pertinent. I will try to find that, but I want to discuss why this is such a big deal. And it's a big deal because what you're seeing by the Saudi foreign minister meeting with the president of Iran and Qatar in a place outside of Iran, in a place where them folks can target and have freedom of movement, that's a big deal. It was, y'all ain't gonna touch me, because if you do touch me, I'm gonna mess you up. Now we're gonna come on down here to talk to the Saudis, and we're gonna let the Saudis know, hey, when they retaliate, and they will, what will you need from us so we don't target your oil fields, so we don't target your oil ports, so that you continue to remain viable, so that your ships will continue to transit? Because that ain't just for the Saudis. That's also for the Qataris. That's also for the Emiratis. And I think the Emiratis will be okay. The only ones that's going to be messed up in this is going to be the Kuwaitis, because they have issues because they're in of their political alliance and affiliation with the United States. They're going to get messed up. So Kuwait, yeah, they're going to get messed up. Qatar, not so much. Saudi Arabia, highly improbable right now, especially meeting. That's a big move. I'm telling you, family, that's a big move to see them literally pictured today, right now, right before the Saudis, or excuse me, the Iranians. They know that they're about to get hit. They know it's coming. They already understand that the U.S. will tell them, do not do anything until at least Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon. Why? Thank you, Brother Garth, for the gift. Hallelujah. Because that's when people are off of work, and that's when people usually don't care. I'm doing my thing. The problem is that is a scary notion, especially with the majority of Americans. Hey, Friday, I'm turning off.
Because they got the whole weekend to procrastinate about what could happen.
Oh yeah, now they're drinking, man. Especially after this week, now they're drinking some beers. They getting toe up. They getting toe up.
Friday is also Shabbat, so I was thinking about that. We said Friday evening.
Yeah. But for
Friday,
them folks,
a day of rest for them as well.
no. For them folks, now they're getting torn up. They're going out to the club. They're going on their
they're gonna be playing
benders.
this song.
They
Give
go,
me
No,
the
no,
beat,
no, no.
boy,
I'm,
and free my
I'm not talking
soul.
about
I
them. I'm
wanna
talking
get
about
off and
the
rock
Muslim
and
world.
roll and drift away.
yeah, Friday is their Shabbat in the Muslim world.
Yeah, in the Muslim world. That's what I meant. Not these people.
Thursday. It actually starts Thursday evening, and then
Yeah.
they do their Friday prayers. They have their fun, and then Saturday it's kind of their shopping day. Preparation day, and then they go back to work on Sunday. But that's not. But that's not the. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. They don't care about what happens in the Muslim world. They don't care about that. They care about Friday afternoon, because Friday afternoon, as soon as the trading bell is done, it won't throw the markets into chaos.
That's right.
That's what they care about. They don't care about the Muslim world. They don't care about anything else. No, they're caring about the funds. Hey, if you
It's the dragons.
yeah, the U.S. is trying to say to them, if you do this, that messes us up, and then we can't afford stuff, which means you can't afford stuff. So you need to calm on down.
But isn't this just like them flexing their little dragon arms, telling people, don't do this, you can't do that? Why should they listen? This is, like I said, it's the same thing they did to Japan and put Japan in dire straits that affects them today. You listen to them, now it's going to affect you for generations. Like, why you are causing so much havoc in that region, and you have the audacity to say, whatever you're going to do, can you just do it on Monday? Just don't do it now, because it's going to be bad for us. We need our markets to just end the week nicely. I mean, that's the cheek of it, really.
Yeah, that's how they think. That is their calculus. So don't think that they have to try to all right. Them folks are out of control. Them folks are out of control there in that Eastern Mediterranean nation. So what does that mean? Look, you have the port strikes. Now, it hasn't necessarily been a major hit to the economy just yet, right? So let me get to Market Watch. I like to go to Market Watch. So they're still trading. They had hit record highs, and now it's kind of quote unquote going back. But gold is still at 2668. They hit, especially today, gold jumps up tomorrow to about 2750, almost 2800. They don't want that to happen. They don't want that to happen. So they're trying to get out of whatever they can, because if they don't hit during the work week, during the trading weeks, then that kind of helps them on out. No matter what, I'm trying to tell you, family, it's all about this economy.
It always is. But for me, it's like, I don't even, their whole ideology is so stupid anyway, because it's like, just listening to what you're saying, and I agree with everything what you're saying. They care about, don't do this because we need things to go. But what difference is it going to make for the next week when they do it the next week or the week after?
Well, they can message things, and you got to remember, people do not pay attention on the weekends. And
I know, I understand
you have
that.
to understand here, and especially in a place like America where, you know, folks medicate on illegal drugs. They're literally on their benders. I'm not playing around. They're on their fentanyl highs. They're on all, you know, they're everything.
Off the
I'm
Fenty.
yeah, I'm halfway scared. I'm halfway scared to drive here in Florida.
Yeah, bro,
Let me tell
Karis,
you.
here in Jersey, it's a Fenty capital as well.
Yep.
But
Oh my goodness,
I
man!
put
I good.
These folks literally drive, sleep at the wheel. And
Mm.
I see them just drive off on 75. They just roll over.
Wow, really?
For real.
yo,
Yes.
I saw the craziest thing driving to Long Island.
You cut out, Gar.
Whoa,
Gentleman
what?
on, I'm pretty sure what it was, the Van Wyck or the LIE. He was literally just like on the side, and I saw like his pants were down. I'm like, I just got a quick glance. I'm like, what is this gentleman doing? He's literally bare butt, like out on the side of the on the freeway or highway. And I was like, yeah, he's on some type of drugs. That's crazy.
Ill.
Yeah.
Image ill.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the
Folks over here are
fentanyl,
crazy.
the,
Yeah. Go
the,
ahead.
the fentanyl epidemic where I'm at is so prevalent. Where I was doing to get out of here is giving out phones, and they smoke all day, all night. And the interesting dynamic is that it's not controlled. The coming of this drug is controlled by specific individuals of other persuasions. I'm trying. I know you're, and it's amazing to watch them just just on the street, just dealing it and dealing it and dealing from morning till night, and it leaves them stuck. Like they'll just stand there. That's why their backs go out, because they can fall asleep standing up. Very interesting.
It is.
Do you find that this epidemic is worse than what happened during the 90s? The crack epidemic?
Not really, because there's no violence. Not really. I don't think so, because the cocaine, its effects aren't like this. What this thing is meant to simply deteriorate the human body, the human being.
Yeah.
You know, where the cocaine and the crack epidemic were meant to energize the violence, to eliminate.
Yes.
This seems to want to deteriorate.
And I have to respectfully disagree with you on that, brother. I think it is because it's more widespread, it's global, and it's affecting everybody really bad on all phases. Whereas
we have them in Scotland as well. It's bad in Scotland.
Whereas with the 90s, we were just affected. But now, all those who had a hand in trying to take us out in the 90s with that devil, everybody across the whole globe are catching the effect. So they could, talk about Kensington or the parts where you are, brother, or even like where Garth is, and me and Garth aren't too far from each other. But like Sister Chantel said, that thing is happening over there in her neck of the woods. And
Scotland ain't my neck of the woods, but darling, trust me.
You're Scot. I didn't know you were Scottish.
No, I'm not Scottish. I'm not Scottish, love. I'm not Scottish. I'm from London.
You're a witch. I knew it. I knew she was. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna send Brother
Hey, big Ollie, I knew it.
I'm gonna send Brother Rojo on a homework assignment so he can, take some videos of North Philadelphia, Kensington area.
It's funny when you say Kensington area. Our Kensington, if you ever know what Kensington is like over here, this is a very posh area over here. So when you're talking, no, not those ends, darling. No. The ends. Yes, Chin Chin. The ends of that Kensington is completely different. When you talk about Kensington and you're saying how bad it is and everything, it's like the image of Kensington just kind of flashes in my head. It's basically this is a very highly priced area to live. I would probably say in the UK, in London.
So let me tell you something about this. in my own personal story, and this involves my brother. This involves my brother because for those folks that know anything about the Philadelphia area, South Jersey area, when I went to when I was in like my freshman year in high school, I moved out to Kansas City. My brother was a sophomore in high school when I moved, and he stayed with my grandmother. And he lived in Glassboro. And if you know about South Jersey, Glassboro, it's about 30 minutes from Philadelphia. You know, you get on Walt Whitman or Ben Franklin, depending on where you're gonna go. They're up in the Philadelphia area. And it's funny because this is a story he had told me. He was dating a white girl at that time. I think he was about maybe 17 or 18. And she had moved from Glassboro, and he was still dating her. And she lived in North Philadelphia, Kensington area. And it's kind of interesting because at that time, especially like 20 years ago or so now, that area was really predominantly white. Am I correct? Anybody from Philadelphia up in here?
I'm not from Philadelphia, but I used to visit there during the parking wars, the meter wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Jersey, but I didn't get over to Philly too often.
Same here,
Your
brother.
Sound like
saint was saying that.
brother
Your saint
Doug,
is saying he's from
you have that
Philadelphia. I
demeanor.
think.
Now I understand you, brother Doug. Now I
Well,
understand.
you didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't know I was from New Jersey. See, I don't start talking like this till later. You know what I mean? If I get
Now,
really
now
upset,
what part of New
Hey, how you
Jersey, brother
doing?
Doug?
But I
I'm
know
doing
it's
all right.
Oh,
okay.
You know,
now
I
it
took care of that.
makes sense. Now
Yeah,
I
so
can.
you didn't know I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, raised in Teaneck, Hackensack, Inglewood. I'm, I got rid of the accents when I started learning to do telemarketing and whatnot. But yeah.
Hey, brother Doug. I went to
What you
Montclair
doing?
over there.
I
I'm
lived
very
in
familiar
Montclair.
with those
I lived
areas.
on
You
Park
sound like
Street
a
in
wise
Montclair.
guy.
Sister
Sounding
lived in
like a
Nutley,
wise
New
guy.
Jersey. Lived
Oh,
Oh
in
my
Nutley. I know
gosh.
some
East
good people in
Patterson.
Nutley there.
Sounds
Yeah, I
like an
went to
episode of
Teaneck High
Jersey Shore.
School. I went to Teaneck High School. I went with my I'm born and raised in Jersey, but you see, I lost this accent once I went Marine Corps, got out, started doing the telemarketing. Now I can talk in any dialect I choose, young man. Yes, I can. Even the English dialect, yeah.
Oh,
You
Upper
still can't
Yankton,
hide that Jerseyism.
yes,
Come
I
on
can
out.
lift that pinky quite well. You know,
It'll
you see what
come
I'm
out.
saying?
a cup
Hmm?
of tea, darling. How
Yeah,
many
Yes,
sugars
my
does
dear.
one
Yes,
take?
and I hope the
indubitably.
threat of nuclear war does not disturb you too much, my dear.
Darling, he rolls his R's.
Oh
Be
my
still, my
goodness. Dear,
heart.
that is nothing. I can do any dialect anywhere in the world. For goodness sake, are you kidding me? Please stop.
Oh, you're quite established.
Yeah, I do what I want to do, I talk how I want to talk, If I want to be a Cuban, I can be a Cubano, you know what I tell you, right? Everybody just relax, okay? We're going to do this thing together, okay,
Now he's from
everybody?
South Florida. Now he's from
All
South
right.
Florida. He's
Oh,
a
South
now,
South Florida is just a
now
hit.
he's from
I don't know.
Kendall. Now he's from
Huh?
Kendall.
No, I just learned that. I learned that when I was doing telemarketing. So yeah, but I'm from Jersey. I've never been to Philly though. Philly's a little
Yeah.
I did
dangerous.
telemarketing as well. You get to hear a lot of,
Yeah, a
everybody.
lot of stuff. You especially when I was Joey Bag of Donuts. I used to call Mr. Spediacci every morning. He thought I was an Italian guy. Every morning, how you doing, Mr. Spediacci? How you Joey Bag of Donuts? You ready to buy them windows and doors? He just roll into it, start talking about all kind of
I
things.
think I know Joey Bag of Donuts.
Joey
His
Bag of
cousin is
Donuts,
Johnny
baby.
Roast Beef.
Hey! He took care of that thing too, plus the vig. But
I got a guy who works in
remember,
his
Karras is
management.
now monetized. We don't want to bring any heat to him. Hey, relax. This is our thing, all
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Especially from
You
the
guys need to do a show when we're in the land, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
And let me tell you, the Italians were not really, they are, but they're more or less they're in like Rahway and Marwa, uh,
My
a little
goodness.
more outside of the Newark area,
Oh, you start talking about Newark now, huh?
Oh yeah, that's why I have some family in New Newark.
Yes.
I got family there. Yes.
Yeah, buddy. That's a rough area. Newark is rough. Newark
Yes,
is
it is.
rough.
Shout out to
Yes.
Springfield Ave. Shout out to Springfield. Shout out to Jefferson Ave.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Yeah.
Here
Shout
we
out
go.
to
I'm at a Hackensack. I lived in Hackensack. Anybody live in Hackensack, New Jersey? Huh? Huh? You ever
I've
heard of
got to say,
Hackensack?
you guys' names are so weird.
Oh,
Hackensack.
Oh, you
what?
trust me, brother
Oh
Doug
my
knows
goodness. Is this the
about
bit talking about strange names? My goodness.
they spell different names like Long Beach Island and then Long Branch and then you
Long
know
yeah.
like just
Neptune
crazy
and
Neptune.
yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I was in South Jersey. I grew up there for about 12 years. So I would, my stomping grounds are like Vineland, Millville. I lived in Glassboro. So I was a stone throw away from, Camden, Deptford area. Willingboro, I have family in Willingboro. So yeah, it's very very interesting, but there is validity to the story of what I'm saying because yes, Kensington used to be and really a very a Caucasian enclave.
Of course, because they would want to mirror where they came from. They would want
Well,
to mirror the Kensington over here, darling.
No,
well,
Kensington was
kind of sorta. It's just you have a lot of different like colonial names that's here.
Yeah, like Williamsburg. Is that colonial? Williamsburg, Virginia, or no? Is that named after the king?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You have that. Yeah, Charlotte, North Carolina. I mean, you got you got
We
those.
have a Jersey as well, by the
You
way.
know,
Yeah, but
It's
it's
an
not
actual
like this
island.
Jersey. Yeah, it
No, it
doesn't.
isn't.
It doesn't have the kind of flavor that we kind of tend to offer. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
That's
it doesn't. We have
why it's
like what
called New
salt and pepper,
Jersey.
perhaps.
yeah,
That's funny.
New Jersey, but it was so I wanted to give some historical credence as to now you see it's a lot of them, and now with them folks really just bending, their backs are bent continually. Selah, right? Selah, let their backs be bent continually.
Mm.
Wow, this is what's happening now. Understand also what's what's also happening there. They have a lot of the IAs. Shout out to Brother Rojo, the IAs that have flooded that border area. That's where they've been running into.
Sorry, I just wanted to say this. What you just said there, let their backs be bent always. It's so deep. It really is, because it's like, obviously, when that was first pronounced, it was about us, and our
Mhm.
backs were bent always in service to these people. Now it's like these people are doing it to themselves deliberately, and their backs are bent, and it's going to be. And you see what they look like when they're old. I mean, they naturally have that.
Hey, Sister Tell, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you said about the backspin, they give new meaning to bending over backwards.
Yeah.
Yo, you see them just literally.
Yes, but we were bent the other way. They're bending that way.
Yeah, so there's a YouTube channel.
Okay.
There's a YouTube channel.
Monetization secure.
Yeah, yeah. Let's please be mindful on the things you can say things, and folks will get the meaning. Folks will get the meaning.
No. I meant that we were bending backward. We were bending forwards to do the work when we was in the fields. They're bending the other way, like they're arching themselves the other way. Like I've seen these videos. Like I remember.
No. There
You hear
is
that, YouTube?
there
She
is a
cleaned it up.
YouTube video. There's a YouTube channel, and all this brother does is just roll through Kensington. That's all he does.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
You just shake your head like.
I've also seen videos of the other, what was it, the bath salts and everything, and they were just going crazy, like running in straight into car windows and stuff. And I'm like, what is going on with these people? But that wasn't just them, though, if I'm going to be honest.
And let me tell you, see, And they have it down here in Florida. They have it down here in South Florida, where these folks will be on stuff. And whatever that mess was, the Flocka, they had to definitely say, no, we got to pull back on that one.
Yeah, that one messed them up. That one was just messy.
They they were literally eating each other's faces off.
They were,
Like,
and they were telling too much truth, because they were saying, "I'm seeing demons. I'm seeing things." I believe that thing created within them a portal. That's what I believe. I believe that they were able to see the spirit realm as it really was, because there was too many of them that were coming out of it, and they were saying things that they shouldn't really know about, and I feel that the world wasn't really ready for that. And these people, that I think that was one of the reasons why they kind of like, no, we need back to the drawing board. We can't have these people telling too much about what's going on, so yeah,
We
sorry.
shout out to 1619 Brood for him getting a new job. All praise to the Most High, and hopefully I will see you in Philadelphia. But whenever something good happens for one of us, I just think that we all ought to just all throw our hands in and tip our hats to the Most High. We got to start supporting each other like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, praise the Most High. Hallelujah.
So let me kind of go into this article. I posted it a little bit ago. Thank you, brother Garth. He had shared this. I put it in the chat. Oil jumps 2% on
When you
Middle
guys
East supply fears.
talking about how your oil was cheap at the moment, or your gas
Oh, it was.
prices went up?
It had been. Yes.
Didn't you even say that it's not going to last?
Yeah, I said it wasn't gonna last either. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, oil jumped 2% on Middle East supply fears by Uranima Kumar, and this is as of 8:37, so about a little more than an hour ago. So oil prices rose on Thursday on investor concern that a widening Middle East conflict could disrupt crude oil flows from the region. Through a stronger global supply outlook, kept a lid on gains. Brent crude futures went up from $1.52 or 2.06% at $75.42 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose $1.58 or 2.25%. Market fears are mounting over the possibility that them folks might target Iranian oil infrastructure, raising the specter of retaliation from Iran.
They don't think too well, do they? Them ones over there. They just
well
do.
They don't really care, because understand, they do get their oil from Saudi Arabia. Them folks do. They get it. It gets pumped into Eilat, and then it goes up into, the other parts of that country. And why that meeting was so important that I just shared is because, thank you, Sister Coco G, for the support. Hallelujah. What ends up happening is that when that retaliatory strike is happening from them folks, Saudi Arabia is basically saying, hey, don't hit our stuff. Don't hit our stuff, please.
That's not going to work. It never works that way, does it?
I would say what Saudi Arabia may do, because I'm gonna probably have to find this. Hopefully, I could talk about it tomorrow on the Quest Unite Africa channel on Q2 It's Q2 So, family, I will be on tomorrow. Quest Unite Africa. We're going to be talking about Africa and the Middle East conflict. What does that mean for the continent? You will only be able to see me tomorrow on the Q2 channel. The Q2 channel, let me give you this one. Thank you, Tracy Brinson, for the gift. Hallelujah. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Also hit the alerts. That's where you will find me tomorrow, around 7:30, maybe 8. and we'll be discussing this because again, this situation is so fluid. Because here's also a concern that the United States has of that Eastern Mediterranean nation. They know that they can't control them. And when people say, oh, it's the U.S., it's the U.S. that controls them folks. And I always say, no, they don't. They do not.
Control them.
The U.S. is subservient to those folks.
Oh, I was going to say, no, it's the other way around. I was just asking if you meant that the people believe that the US controls them. No, it's the other way around. I don't know why anybody would think that.
If y'all are telling the truth, we're going to pay $10 gas. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Here's the problem. Yeah, the ports are caught up, but it's not the fact that we're going to pay $10 in gas. It's the fact that we, number one, our refining capacity of gas will not be available for the amount of consumers. And remember, what did they just try to do a couple of months ago? Even right now, they're trying to get people back into the office, post pandemic. So now they're trying to rush people into the office, and now they're going to tell people, don't come into the office. So it's going to be it's going to compile, right? Come into the office, and then whatever monies that you thought that you were making, well, it's going to be squeezed on up because your budgets aren't going to be able to support it. And on top of that, you may not have a job. You may not have a job by the end of this month because we're not exporting things. Look, raw resources, raw materials, all these things. It's IT support. IT support, if you don't have enough production, guess what? You don't need IT because you don't have that much support. You don't need marketing because why? They're going to have to cut all of these, managerial overhead so people can do the core jobs. All of these things that's going on, this is going to be ridiculous.
Real quick, Brother Karras, medical supplies, will this affect medical supplies and sterilization and all this other, stuff that you need for imaging and, x-rays and all that stuff? Will that affect it or no?
Absolutely.
It's coming from China.
Yes, exactly. The medical supplies, they do come from China.
I mean, everything comes from China, if we're going to be honest. And
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say everything comes from China, and it's like you already have the Houthis that are they don't want you getting the things that you need, and now you've got something else on top of that. It's when we start to read the scriptures where it says how there's going to be a famine in the land, and before the famine, the literal famine starts, there's a famine of the word, but I think it's a famine of it's a famine of the word. It's the word of the Most High, but it also ends up becoming the word of intelligence, understanding what's going on in the world. The word of the Most High, nobody wants to read it. People didn't want to have nothing. There was a famine, but that was deliberately done because most people don't want to hear it. Now you've got a famine. They're starting to shut down channels where they don't want people to find out what exactly is going on. Then after that, you're going to have a famine, a literal famine, where bread is like costing something like, I don't know, for you guys, maybe about $20 or something like that, a loaf. Or even more, $50 for a loaf of bread, So it's like these things are going to happen. When you see it in the scriptures, it's like we're literally living it. We're on the precipice of this actually happening, and it's all just down to that.
So let me show you this because Sean, shout out to brother Sean in the chat who had asked. So what about Jordan? And so here is from what he had posted. This is Jordan warns Israel, Iran, it will defend itself after missile breach. Yeah, they're trying to remain neutral, but it's like this is the best that Jordan can say and do without literally, pissing, you know,
Nobody trusts Jordan after what they did.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
like,
you get what I'm telling you. It's like they lost face. They really did. They
exactly.
lost
Everyone's
face.
just side eyeing you now, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna defend myself from them folks in Iran. So it's both of them. It's both. I'm just saying, I know that we're taking a big risk of losing out on our money for going against them folks, and that's the reality. Jordan is a client nation. It's a client
Mm.
state of them folks. That's a story for another day. Hallelujah. Jordan's foreign minister, Ayman Safadi, has warned both them folks in Iran that the kingdom will defend itself against any threats after Iranian missiles targeting them folks crossed Jordanian airspace, the foreign ministry said on October 2nd. At least one missile crash landed in Jordan, according to social media. The country acted with the U.S. and Britain in helping them folks shoot down the Iranian ballistic missiles. Jordan's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan will not be anyone's battlefield. Yeah, so they're trying. This is a saving face maneuver. Jordan is going to get messed up. It's a saving face maneuver. And you know what? If you actually understood the history of Jordan from back in like the 1950s, 1960s, it was kind of that they were kind of created as a neutral client state.
They're trying to be neutral without actually being neutral.
Exactly.
The Arab world is just going to see Jordan as the snake that holds the knife to their back. They're not going to trust them, not after what they did.
And you have to understand there's a dynamic with Jordan there. Jordan gets supported by Saudi Arabia.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how that country lives. That's how they get oil. It's Saudi Arabia. That's how them and that Eastern Mediterranean nation survive. That's their, they have their nuclear power plant, supposedly.
What's that famous saying? Oh, what a complicated web we weave when we learn to lie and deceive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody is just out for themselves, but it's like, well, you have to do this because I'm doing that with that person, so you can't do this with that person. You can't be friends with that person if you're friends with me. But remember, you've got to I give you this, that, and the other, and they give you this, so you've got to be friends with them, but be enemies to that person. But the other person that you're friends with is enemies to that person. It's so complicated.
It's complicated. Thank you, Most High's daughter. I appreciate it. Hallelujah. It's complicated, but understand this is why Saudi Arabia and Iran met. Because Saudi Arabia is an interlocutor of them folks. They're not getting oil from the United States. And matter of fact, that they had been getting oil from the United States. Well, good luck with that one since the port strike.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now, look, Saudi Arabia is going to have to. They're in a bind, and they put themselves in a bind because of the lack of inaction by the Saudi government. Now you're trying to look. This is what they get for trying to play lukewarm. This is what they get. Put up or shut up now, because if not, I'm telling you, I've been to Saudi Arabia. I've been there for almost 6 months. I was there seeing how and putting the finger on the pulse, actually talking to the folks.
From
This,
what I heard, they don't like what their minister is doing.
I'm telling you, if they play it the wrong way, Saudi Arabia could actually be overthrown.
Obadiah.
I mean, it's that serious. Saudi Arabia could actually be overthrown. MBS could actually be overthrown. And this is why they always invite the CIA folks on over to help them, because it's that deep. It's that big. And really, they know it. So now, look, this was the olive branch. In my opinion, this is the olive branch that Iran reached on out to them. Hey, we're talking now in Qatar. We're talking now, not with Western influence, but I'm sure what was in that meeting, just my personal interpretation, was this. You come and you interfere with us. You come and you allow them to do anything with us. We gonna whip you behind.
You think that's what Iran was saying to Saudi Arabia?
Absolutely. We're gonna
It's all
whip you
different.
behind.
It's all different when you don't have the bird behind your back.
Bingo. The calculus is a whole lot different. And now we're starting to see all this stuff. I'm telling you, family. Yep. Since we're talking about Philadelphia, Brother Sean, they're giving them the Beanie Siegel. They're giving them that state property. Get down or get laid down. They're giving them for real.
Hey, bro, Karis, Omar coming.
Yep. You're But now you're starting to see, look, this world war is spreading, and this world war is going to spread outside of the Saudi Arabian region. Because now folks don't understand this is opening up the door to Turkey. And it's not just opening up the door to Turkey, folks. Folks don't forget it. Folks forget about Egypt. Egypt what? Egypt too?
It's funny you saying Turkey. I was actually thinking about that man. Because, yeah. And he's another one that likes to play both sides as well.
LCC, yeah, I know. Yeah, people are tired of the Arab
Turncoat.
Yeah, the Arab gallivanting. That people are tired of that. Oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. I can't. Look, they're going to do all that stuff, and then they're going to end up being overthrown.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to end up being overthrown. Remember that well, not 6th of October. It was the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood overthrow. Remember that
Honestly,
in 2009, the Arab Spring, the Muslim Brotherhood. It didn't last very long, but these are those moments.
that's a really good point, brother Karis, because Egypt is literally the corridor from Africa to to the Middle East. So it's like you need that as like, I mean, I'm not a military strategist, but it would be nice to have Egypt as a cutoff point or a choking point.
Is that why they started blocking off their border?
That's exactly, yeah.
They saw this way back then.
Yep.
Way back then, and people were like, "You gotta let the Palestinians in." No, Egypt's like, "Nah, you're thinking too short term. We see where this is going. See where this is going."
Yeah, because they'll try to flee through Egypt. They'll try to flee through Egypt. They'll try to flee through Jordan. That's their best guess. That's my best guess, is that they'll try to flee through Jordan. They'll get out through Amman. They'll make it up that hill territory. That area from the Dead Sea. Yeah.
Egypt will be like, "We never had you in here the first time. Don't come. You ain't those people. Don't come in here. You don't come in here."
But you also have to understand who will then be backstopping and supporting Egypt.
Mm.
You got to understand who's going to be backstopping and supporting Egypt. I believe you'll have an African Union military mission.
Backed by who?
Potentially, you could have. It wouldn't be far fetched. Ethiopia.
Yes, but I'm talking the powers behind all of that. I see that this would be too much of a beautiful opportunity for the BRICS, for Russia, China, the four, what I would esteem to be the
Laying
four.
down the foundation of a
Yes.
what? Of an international coalition. Yes.
Yes.
This lays down the foundation of the international coalition that they'll be bringing on up. And understand, family, when you have Egypt, you're also going to have behind it Libya. Oh my goodness, yeah, Libya definitely is
Of course, Nan, they've got some. They've got some skin in the game.
yeah,
They've got some skin in the game.
Oh, they're itching at the brim.
Yes, they are.
And you would have sports that would then be limited. You wouldn't have Alexandria. You would have Benghazi and other Tripoli and other ports there on the on that African Mediterranean coast that would not be utilized.
Mm-hmm.
Really. On top of that, you'll have a major disruption through the Suez for any type of Western.
This is beautiful. What if there's subs there already? What if there's subs?
Yeah, I'm giving you the whole geopolitical analysis on this channel. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. This is why I come through early in the morning. They just listen to.
Well, the brain is still fresh.
Yeah, they come through and they listen to black folks, so they know that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be overly obnoxious. No, don't take it for being obnoxious. No, I've done this for years.
It doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter whether you've done it for years or you've just done it, started doing it yesterday. It's who's behind you, whose spirit is with you. That. To be honest with you, that's what they come with.
Exactly. And then when they do is that right after this, then they'll take some notes. Oh, this Negro knows what he's talking about.
Of course, because you've got all these other ones that are still in the military, been in the military, saying their piece, but they're not getting the full story. They don't understand. So a lot of people will come to you because it's like they're not coming to you because of your experience. They're coming to you because it's like, look, what does it say? We will come with you because your God is with you. They say God, but you know what I mean? That's what it says in the scriptures. We will go with you because Yah is with you. That's why they come. That's why they sit in the back, keeping quiet. At the end of the day, they're like, we used to be like, oh, you need to come up. No, they don't need to come up. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Staying in the back and keeping quiet and listening and taking notes. That's what they're supposed to do, really and truly.
Yeah, if you didn't know, this is
okay.
I wish I would have had the thing. Because understand, this is something major. This is something major in terms of why you see what's happening. Especially with Faisal, when he had said, look, the majority of the world, I wanted to find that. I think I saw it on Off Grid, but he was saying the majority of the world will not accommodate. The majority of the world will not accommodate. Basically, they're not going to just look at that Eastern Mediterranean nation and say, okay, you can act with total impunity, right? Nobody's check you, nothing. No, now they're being checked. And then
those days are over.
Oh, guess what? This place is about to get checked. Understand dangerous alliances, right? Know who your friends are, because your friends will do what? They can either bring you up or they could do what? Tear you down. And this is why now you hear on this side of the water, oh, well, you know, that Eastern Mediterranean nation, oh, it's going to drag down the United States. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. Oh, now it is. Now
Remember,
it
they were
is.
saying that about Ukraine as well.
Now it is.
I thought that they were supposed to uplift them. I thought there was no abandonment. And I'm not talking about the government, because we know where the government stands, but the people.
Give me a second, Sister Chantel. So when I'm trying to break in with that, this is Brother Asaph. It says, we got a warning that we cannot leave work. We get to stay on after our shift. What's happening?
Oh. Huh.
This is, I'm telling you, something is going on. Things are happening. He does some security work. he does some security work.
Well, guys,
all this stuff on out
there. It's been nice knowing you.
Brother George has a
given what Brother Doug said.
Yeah, Brother Doug is on the road. Brother Doug, put your cash up on out there so folks can support you as you're showing you making your way out through. Look, brother, we're gonna call Brother Doug Book of Eli.
My goodness! Oh my goodness!
Oh, Brother Doug, we were talking the other day. We were all saying about who, like all these servants, like they wouldn't want to come with you.
I think.
Oil. Please don't
listen, man. Listen, I am when I'm not talking, I'm reading or I'm watching or I'm learning. When I'm not talking, I'm reading, watching, learning, or thinking. And I have put together a scenario that, in my mind, does not end well for anyone, but most importantly, us. And for goodness sake, folks, I mean, you know, we're looking at everything that's happening here. And yes, I'm heading out. I'm hitting the road Friday. I'm going to be taking a 720-mile trip to Elko, and Elko, Nevada, is where I have a few acres of land, 4 acres of land, and I put a photo up there of it on the show I did yesterday. Very nice land, 5 miles away from Elko, and I mean, you know, listen, Goshen is for me a reality because I read it in Scripture. Goshen is a reality for me because I can't get out of this country as a former Marine with a secret security clearance. They're not going to let me leave. And I have I'm not legit, if you'd say. I mean, if you know, I'm a public person, so you know, I did time too. So they're not taking us out of this country. Plus, I'm not going to cooperate. You guys know I'm going to be difficult. So I'm going to Goshen. I'm gonna be real difficult. I'm gonna be difficult. I'm if you can sneak me in amongst the crowd, I'll be that little time bomb you can set off. I'm
gonna say this. I'm gonna say yet. You know, don't think that they're gonna be able to hold on to the Most High's people, and understand that when you have a lot of these things going on, you're also going to have see people don't understand that the US is actually in the crosshairs too with a lot of these civil actions, these ICJ actions, these ICC actions. The US is in the crosshairs. And I'm going to tell you this. Let me share this scripture with you. I want to share you this because I wanted to really hone in on this. We went over this yesterday in Obadiah, but I wanted to kind of really hone in because right here.
You're going to Obadiah?
I'm going to Obadiah, yeah.
What chapter?
Oh, verse. It's only one chapter.
No, I said one chapter. I'm just messing with you.
Oh, I hear you. First Obadiah. It's first Obadiah. But you have to understand. Here it is. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You know, and that's Obadiah chapter 10.
Mm.
That's Obadiah chapter 10. Now understand there are some real critical things that's going on here. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, for thou shalt be cut off. How is that? I'm gonna say this. My interpretation, just my interpretation, especially as what we're seeing, is that this is when you have the shame, and that shame is being brought out in their courts, in their rule of law, in their crimes against humanity.
Or even just by the things that they say when they go up and they have interviews and they talk freely, like as if this was 20 years ago.
Yeah. This is something that they will have to deal with, and that's coming. So imagine that. I listen, to me, that's the biggest tool right there. I'm sorry, that is. That's the biggest weapon right there.
Well, I'm going to tell you, brother, I expect these folks to get energized. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at every angle that you can imagine all the time. I've got two screens in front of me plus yours. I'm looking at this X9 solar flare that has just been released on top of the X7-1. And, you know, though we're not looking outside the Earth in this conversation or outside the atmosphere, what happens on that sun affects folks on this planet. And anybody that doesn't have neuromelanin and a stable psychosis more likely will be affected by that, which is examining the kidneys. So I intend to leave. Yes, I did a show on it yesterday. I've said it on panel. I'm posting about it. I'm gonna film the whole thing with commentary, hopefully to entertain the masses so that people support me. But more importantly, by November 5th, if we make it that far, I'll invite anybody that wants to come and just chill out of the way, out of line of sight, out of the way of fire, out of the reach of those, because it's going to get ugly anyway. You don't have to have a front row seat. It's going to get ugly. And by the looks of what I see that they're not reporting, I mean, not in the mainstream news, think of this, man. You know, we had an influx of shootings and riots and people acting out, and people are filming it, and it exacerbates and continues to propagate and more of it. And the further you can be away in your Goshen, even if it's in your, first go there in your mind. But if you can get to a physical Goshen and get away from the influx and influence of these people, I pick up energies now. Damn it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I do. I pick up energies. I feel the people's ill intent, or you get the looks from people. Folks, you know what we're experiencing out there. The slow frown of American society is taking shape on the faces of the people that surround us.
Mm-hmm.
And if
I
you
agree.
are in close,
Same here.
yes,
Because
if you
you
are
gotta
in close,
understand, they're not being worshipped, right?
they're not being worshipped anymore, and they feel
Mm.
yes. And that's going to make, I said again, they're going to be energized. And I'd rather be out of the way and able to simply come back and say, I guess you guys were whatever, maybe overreacted, than to have to frantically send you coordinates to a place of safety and say, get here. So
Well,
yeah,
you guys saw what happened over this summer over here. So this is what they're like when they realize that they're not the be all and end all anymore.
Did they go after Brits, black Brits? I'm sorry to ask, just bluntly, or did they just go after immigrants? Did they differentiate?
Because I think I heard some people were saying that they were going after black men as well. But you know these are cowards, and they will always go in massive amounts of groups. So you know that's how it is. But I don't know. I think, but it's funny because no, I never saw anything like that here, like in London. You don't hear or see anything like that happening here. I'm not saying it could never, because we have had instances way in the past when I was coming up, but these things tend to happen in places outside of London. Like, for example, what's his name? Tommy, whatever his name is. He basically, he is from the place where my mom grew up, which is Luton, which is outside of London. It's a small town. And the funny thing is, his issue, he really doesn't have that much of an issue with black people. And I said this before, they don't have an issue with black people yet. Their issue is mainly with the immigrants, like the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Asians, the Arabs, because those are the ones who are getting in places above them.
Yep.
There is a class system, right? Exactly.
Of them now. Yep. And that is what? That's a symptom. That's symptomatic of going into captivity.
Mm-hmm.
Uno reverso card.
That's right.
Curse card. Uno reverso curse card.
I was just playing that the other day with my daughter. But yeah, that's why. And I think the only reason why I said yet, because it's historically speaking, anything goes wrong, these people always blame us, because we're just easy to blame. Like, I mean, look at how the Palestinians are blaming black people for what's going on over there. Like, I cannot with some people. It's like, you all are a bunch of cowards, if we're going to be honest. It's like, kick us while we're down. You don't want to go and fight the actual people who are the ones causing your hurts and pains. You want to come and fight us when we're already down? What is wrong with you? And then you want us, and then after you've kicked us down, then it's like, oh yeah, we need some help. You're gonna come help us. Like, you lot are just, is there something going on in your heads? Like, what is wrong with you people? And I say you people, I mean black. I mean, sorry, not black. I mean Arabs, Indians, Chinese, Japanese, like for real. What have we ever done to you? What have we, especially in Asia, what have we done to you? You had 2 nukes dropped on your heads, not by us, and you still love these people. I don't understand it. Is there something going on? Do they smell nice down there? Why?
Wow.
We ain't done nothing to you.
Wow.
Exactly. It must smell sweet.
Wow. Like that. You know, if you're asking the problem, it's historical is the problem. I mean, in the short order, we represent something that they can never really claim. I hate to say it, just a covenant is a covenant, an agreement is an agreement. You know, we have an agreement with the Most High God of all creation. We do. Why do they universally hate us? We've done nothing to them. Of course not. There must be something in the psychic energy of these people that's carried down through generations that just irks them. Because if you ever just been standing there, and you feel their wet eyes on you, and all you gotta do is look left or look right.
Absolutely,
and
brother
of course,
Doug.
there they are, taking you all in. Just taking you all in. And they have this look of jealousy mixed with contempt, mixed with hatred, mixed with murderous rage, mixed with admiration. And it don't get corrected until you show them teeth, smile, put them at ease, and say, "How are you, sir? You okay? Do you need a hug or something? Are you all right? Because you look like you could murder me for your lacking, for what you don't have, and you see that I do." Listen, folks, when they listen, what do you think? What do you think they think when they look at us? Let's not be coy.
Everything that you just said, hatred.
What do you think?
I think it's a
course,
hatred
man.
and it's a love. I think it's a
It's a
hatred and it's a
love-hate
love.
relationship. They love to
Right.
watch us sing, dance. They love to watch us step. They will love to watch us fetch. They love to
But they
watch us
hate us
grin
for
and
it.
cheese, but they hate us that we do it so well, and they're missing something. There's an
The beat.
element. There's an element they're missing, man, and they can't get it from us. You know, that's what's interesting. The consummation of us. I don't know if you've ever. I went over that book. The eating of us. You know, consuming of us is a real thing. They boiled Nat Turner, put him in some kind of elixir, and sold it called Nat's juice. They want what
Oh,
we
yeah.
have, and they can't get it, even through consummation, even through murder, even through annihilation. And
Brother
they know
Doug,
that if
that's
we
why I
leave,
said that their technology is based on, they use 3 things for their hyper technology right now, and that's crystal, diamonds, and melanin. That's why
yeah,
so many of our
melanin.
people are
Melanin
missing.
missing, hundreds of thousands of women missing, children missing. Melanin is the key, whether people want to know it or not. And when that sun does whatever it does and we stand and they fall, maybe that will be the tale that told it all.
Hallelujah.
I'll land there.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna hop off. Thank you for having me, Brother Karras. Nice having you on here, Brother Doug and Sister
Yeah.
Chantel, as always.
How are you? I haven't spoken to you in a long, it's been an age.
Don't worry, Sister Chantel, we will catch up, but I'm trying to get off here real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But please meet me at noon on Africa Legit.
What happened?
You cut off. Yeah, please.
Because my phone keeps on locking, and yes, I got to keep on pressing my phone so it doesn't lock. So meet me on Quest Unite Africa channel with Brother Mike at noon. And thank you, family, for all the support from yesterday. I truly appreciate it, and you guys are my family. And I will just continue to be a vessel for the Most High and to keep on doing the work. And I close with that. And shalom, everyone.
All right, Shalom. Thank you. If you haven't done so, please subscribe now to Q2 Way. It's Quest 2 Night Africa. Here it is. It's Quest 2 Night Africa. I put the link right there. Brother Garth will be on with Brother Mike this in about an hour and a half. So go on over and join the conversations. Brother Mike is doing some awesome things on the continent. And yes, I would say that he literally is the advanced party. He's getting things set up for real. Let's go with you, Sister Chantel. Final comments, and then Brother Doug.
It's been nice. I'm glad I came on actually. And Brother Doug, oh my gosh, I love listening to you. I really do. Oh my gosh, I don't care. I love the cursing and the swearing, but that's just me.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, sister.
I don't want you to change. Just be you, man. Just be you. I like real. I'm sorry. I'm kind of like that, guys. I'm sorry. That's just me. I hold back, which is why I told Karras, please don't put me on, because I'll be like Brother Doug and your channel will get shut down. Because I get very emotional. I have to really reel myself in. But yeah, I'm sorry. You will lose subscribers for that. But it's been so, this has been a really good one. And yeah, you should come on again. And, you know, I like this. And Karras, yeah, you're good as well, you know, whatever. I'm joking. But yeah, thank you for having me on. And, you know, just be safe out there. And I do exactly the same thing. It's just about avoiding these people now. This is just having being in our own time and space. And they don't like that. They really don't like that, because they're starting to call us, and they've been doing that for a little while. When we started coming away from them, they noticed it, because they started calling us separatists and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, hallelujah, because that's what the Bible said. And I'm not trying to be around you like that. Being around you is not good for our health. It's not good for our health. It's not good for our mental health. It's just not good for us. You do whatever you're doing and be happy doing that. You have I don't even understand. You got the Asians, you got the Hispanics, you got all these other people that love you so much, that want to be like you. Just leave us alone. You can have the whole world, leave Africa and African people alone. Just go do you in the rest of the world and leave us. Good Lord, have mercy. Like these people, it's like they just, it's like they need us, the attention, constantly seeking our attention and our approval, but trying to play like as if they're not. It's crazy. It must be really weird living in their head. Like, I love you, but I hate you, but I love you, but I hate you. It's confusing. Anyway, that's my rant. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for being patient with me, Karis. And Brother Doug, it's been a blast.
All right. Hallelujah. Thank you. I have Brother Doug Rice's YouTube channel also. Please support our brother as he, does his book of Eli.
Book of Eli.
out
Wow.
of out of the greenery and into the desert. The Eli.
Yes. Well, first I want to thank just thank you so much, Karis, for even letting me on. I don't try to impose on panels because I know how I am. I love moderating, I do, but I was struck to come on today, and yes, I am. I am headed 720 miles to Elko, and the the property itself is remote. However, for those that might want to come join me, I intend to set camp, just kind of, there's close by. If I'm going to stay in a hotel or something, I can actually do that and go to the property every morning. It take me less than 10 minutes. So, but, and it's so remote, no one will know that I'm out there. And it is effectively, and for all intents and purposes, my property put in the family name. 4 acres, 4.5 acres, beautiful country. Elko is beautiful country, is all kind of stuff up there. Nice time of year. And, I'm going to video log the whole thing, the whole trip from stem to stern as much as I can, and talk about all kinds of things, maybe visit you guys if I can. But the need to do this came from that, just what we have as an example. I can't leave, and I'm stuck in Egypt, and I'm awaiting Exodus, and the Creator has put in my path a place where I can wait, and it looks like it's about to go crazy. So I better get there before it's too late. And so, yeah, man, Brother Karis, you are an absolute amazing speaker, orator. I mean, my hat's off to you just seeing you on stage. Thank God you weren't in a skinny suit or anything that reflected, as was said. But your efforts in contribution to this effort of getting us over there, I commend you. I would love to be, secreted deep within the populace, maybe, just as a safety mechanism. And if, you need me, I'm there. Otherwise, I'll keep my mouth closed. I will, as for as much as I'm able. But again, I appreciate the time. All praises to the Most High God. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Brother Doug. We appreciate it. And yes, family, if we can support him on those channel through those travels, I have the channel right here. Let's support each other's channels, because here's the thing. We're not going to get support. Thank you, Brother Doug. I'm going to put you in the back. We're not going to get support. Folks are being actively blocked by YouTube just to even subscribe to this channel. Just to even subscribe to this channel. Folks are being actively blocked. Long-time subscribers having issues being blocked. Understand this is information warfare, because why? Now you're starting to see everything go down. I tell you, family, your support is critical to this channel. It really is. I have my PayPal here. They blocked off my Cash App. I know folks had been supporting via that way, and I appreciated that. But here is my PayPal. This is what keeps the lights on for real. This is what allows me to do what the Most High is allowing me to do for this season. And when I do mean season, I mean season. we don't have that much time left. I'm trying my best to just, impart that on people. Get in your word and get in your closet and reach out to the Most High. You have to. Don't come on in here saying, "Oh, I have an inclination. This is something. I just have a bad feeling." No, that's the Ruach. And that's the Ruach HaKodesh. Because why? Because now everybody's getting that supplication. Everybody's getting that spirit being poured out on them. Even if you don't even supplicate, even if you don't even pray, even if you don't even hardly converse with the Most High, guess what? It doesn't matter. I told you. All the folks worldwide is now getting locked in. Some may say it's not fair, folks hadn't really even really had a relationship with the Most High. Hey, that's between them and the Most High. But I know what the word says about this time, about his people. Understand they are going through literally the prophetic roadmap. And we see that. That's why we shared Obadiah. And now we see the Joel 3 moment. This is what they're afraid of. If they know they're going into captivity, do you think that they want to tell people that they're going into captivity? Sister Coco, I have Coco Mango. I have Brother Rice's YouTube channel there in the chat. We're coming out of our captivity. And this is what coming out of captivity looks like. It looks like literally foes becoming friends. It looks like regional powers and really global powers being sprung up on this world stage. Just the picture alone of the Iranian prime minister and the Saudi minister of our foreign minister shaking and embracing like that. Do you know that that scares the crud out of these folks here in the West? It scares them. They'll never tell you that they're scared, but they are. This is why they will do what they can to suppress this truth. Our curse has been poverty. When you speak out, guess what? They know where they can curse you at. They may not be able to get to the Most High servant physically, but they know how to maneuver financially because this is their money. This is their system. So this is why I asked for support. This is why Yakoba asked. This is why Garth asked. This is why we all ask, because we're doing the work of this kingdom. And I'm telling you, when we are able to get that, hey, it's time to go, then it'll be hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father, that these folks have put in the work. And understand we get beat up for doing that. We get hated on for doing this. This truly is a labor of love for all of us. Because there is a persecution that we have that starts in our family, in our families. And now it's like, okay, well, thank you, Father, that right now this is all paying off because we can see the finish line. And trust me, they can see the finish line too. That interpretation of a finish line, it don't look anything nice for them. They're now shopping and they look like their minds are occupied in other spaces. Yes, it is. Because they hear our voices and now they have to go into this valley of decision. Before I go, I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit y'all with this before I go. This is so appropriate. Oldie but get it goodie, it never gets old. Joel chapter 3, for behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Who's I? That's the Most High. That's the Most High. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, Yasharel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Now to me, that is the most important verse right there. Because understand, that valley of Jehoshaphat, that's a spiritual valley. That's a spiritual valley. They're being pled to by the Most High. Give us our stuff and leave us alone. Give us our stuff and let us go. Give us our stuff and let us go that we may worship Yahuwah in the land of our forefathers. Gentiles, I'm talking to you all. You're seeing your future, your destiny right in front of you. Whatever you thought you were going to change, whatever you thought you had devised in your heart to do wicked, it's over. You lost the favor of the whole world. And now, in less than 3 weeks, you're going to lose the favor of your position financially. And when that happens, yeah, the port strike is just the beginning of the troubles. We've been saying this for a long time. Again, I don't know how much longer we have. Shoot, I don't know if I'll be back on next Tuesday. I don't. But what I can tell you is prepare, get ready. And you need to prepare spiritually, because the Most High will prepare you physically. That's what he does. We serve an awesome Father. He loves his children. He really does. He loves each and every one of us. He really does. All those that call on his name through the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. All of us. So Israelites, if you don't know Yahushua, you better get to know him. This isn't to scare anybody, but it's to prepare you. I don't need to scare anyone. What's happening on over there is happening, and it's a reality. It is a reality. So I don't need to go and throw any gimmicks to anybody of look at what Jack Smith and Donald Trump, look at what's happening with the elections and all that other nonsense. Really, it doesn't matter. They're talking about the October surprise and folks are panicking, trying to get toilet paper. I mean, that's the world we live in. You get a missile strike here in the United States, we ain't hearing nothing. That's your reality. You better put your trust in Yahuwah through his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. That's it. So we've been warning folks for over, I know I've been warning people for over 4.5 years. Jacoba, around 9. Over 9. And you've had other folks in our community doing the same thing. As Pastor Rick Fletcher had commented earlier, this was not going to be a perpetual state of warning and warning. No, no, no. Pretty soon, those warnings are done, and then the action goes down. Because you better not think that it can't happen here. And if you don't think it's going to happen here, I really do feel sorry for you. I really do. So with that said, family, most high willing, I'll be back on Covenant Awakenings on Tuesday. That's Tuesday, October 8th. And you know things are going to get crazy from there. I will be on tomorrow for Quest 2 Night Africa. I will be on QTUA, so you can see me tomorrow morning on over there with our folks as we talk about these implications, because I'm telling you, family, the system's scrambling. Everybody's scrambling. But in being able to navigate the system, you're going to have some diplomatic efforts and diplomatic understanding of how to deal with people. That's why neo-diplomacy in this time is so vitally important. Also, please go ahead, grab my book, The Rise of Africa, the Continent, the Diaspora, and BRICS. Pertinent information, family. And I'll leave you with that. Hallelujah. So with that said, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings, Yasharel. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. The reason that I can say that is you have a couple of different factors occurring right now as we speak on the world stage. The dollar is being disrupted. Nations are no longer wanting to engage with the United States. But the third factor that affects each and every one of us is that there is a diaspora from the African continent that's willing and able to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent.
The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey? or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions.